or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Where else can you get lunch and brunch and booze and specials? Only one place, at Colehane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Colehane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Colehane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at MacDill Air Force Base or Eglin Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Many of us have been fortunate to have someone along the way take an interest in our career or another aspect of our life. To a small business owner, it is important to have an objective voice to provide advice or guidance to help identify customers, answer a legal question, or review finances. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. If you're interested in joining our team, go to the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org and start sharing your knowledge today.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Brent Martineau.
All right, Jason Fitz, thanks for checking in, man. We didn't try to keep you too long today. We gave you a shorter day.
Austin Lane.
Hey, Jason, real quick, man. Since you have that Belinda Koff Award, since you can, vote on that, Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Now, they didn't play this year. Okay, they didn't play a game this year. But Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Just check them out real quick.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
To me, they are the second-best team in the NFC, and here's why. Lyle Collins didn't play last year. Tyron Smith only played in 2 games. If they could get back 2 really good frontline offensive tackles, a franchise quarterback, I love Dak Prescott. You have 2 bona fide number 1 receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, a great Zeke Elliott. That defense is young. It's going to get better. I'm a big believer in Dan Quinn. They drafted defense up and down that draft. I think they're going to come out of it at least with 2, maybe 3 stars, most notably Micah Parsons. So even if that defense is average this year, and I think they're going to improve as the year goes on, this is going to be a prolific offense, and they're going to be hard to beat.
That is Mike Tannenbaum talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Will this be the year that everybody can buy into the Cowboys and it actually works?
Yeah.
I mean, Dak Prescott getting hurt didn't help that, but the defense was abysmal. They had all sorts of problems. Cowboys have been disappointing for a long time. Cowboys are not quite the Knicks category of disappointing. I mean, that's like a different level of Knicks. But when you think of like major franchises, in sports, Cowboys are right up there with their lack of playoff success. The only thing different is they went on that run in the late 90s, so that somewhat is recent still, I mean, it hadn't been that kind of run a long time for the Knicks. So, and it's been, like I said, it's totally different. You could put a few franchises in this kind of category, but when you talk about Dallas, you talk about the Knicks, you're talking about the biggest franchises in sports.
Yeah,
arguably.
I mean, I would compare them to the Yankees for sure. Just in terms of you get the sense that you have management that wants to win over everything, and obviously Jerry Jones would fit that mold. You know, Jerry Jones is the owner. He's always out there. He's always making his opinions known, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They've been extremely disappointing. One could argue the most disappointing team in the NFL the past decade or so in terms of hype going into the season, and they're not living up to that hype. I'm not ready to get on the bandwagon just yet because I still feel like the Eagles are a thing. Not going to say my predictions quite yet, but it's just hard to buy into Dallas, man. It really is.
Yeah, I do sometimes, though. I just think they have so much talent. You know, I mean, I really do. I think they've been a talented team really for a while, but when will they figure it out? So you mentioned the Yankees. Yankees starting to figure it out, by the way. But you think about this. Yankees haven't won since 2009. I like to say that repeatedly. And that's a long time for the Yankees, you know, especially since as built as they've been. Like, it's not like they're going through this down cycle and like this whole philosophical change. No, they've been loaded with players and still haven't won. Kind of like Dallas. So in that sense, they are a little bit more like Dallas, not being able to win and win big. And despite all the push to do so, the all-in nature. Again, the Knicks haven't really been all in. I know, like, that's all they care about is winning, but they really haven't been. I mean, they haven't had, like, this litany of star players and spending this kind of money to do. I mean, they've missed on draft picks and other things like that.
No, for sure. And, like, I've echoed this before a little bit. To me, the Knicks, though, have always been the team that's not cool. Like, just because you play at Madison Square Garden, you know, and there's history there, like, players don't really care about that if it's not cool. Now, the Knicks have finally started to become cool again. Now, blame that on Dan Gilbert, blame that on management, blame that on whatever you want to blame it on, but they just weren't a cool team. You know, I mean, look no further than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant would rather go to Brooklyn and play as opposed to going to New York and that storied franchise and all the tradition and playing in the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. Kevin Durant didn't care about that. Kevin Durant wanted to go to Brooklyn, hang out with Jay-Z.
Great point. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think this year is going to help, you know, the Knicks out a little bit. You know, the emergence of Julius Randle now. Obviously, they had some success this season. Is one season going to be the difference maker? Probably not, but they're on their way to trying to be in, quote-unquote, that cool team again.
But one more thing about the Yankees. You see the game ended on triple play?
Yeah.
It's like the third triple play they've already had this year. Like, that is ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't know why that is. Like, every time something strange happens, you're like, well, why is it? You know, Major League Baseball, obviously the sticky substance today, and that's where they're going to start, and there's been so much talk about that. In the past, there's been so much talk about home runs. Well, there was even talk this year about no-hitters. Remember how many no-hitters we had? And that was, again, spin rate and kind of applies to the sticky substance stuff, and it all goes hand in hand. What I don't know is, was that just dumb luck that the Yankees have had 3 triple plays already this year? Like, how unusual is that? I would think, I was saying today, I think it's maybe has to do with some exit velo things. They've done it twice in the same way, like 5-4-3 around the horn, basically triple play. The other one was a little bit different and unique. That was kind of the lucky one. But I would just say maybe the ball's being hit harder, and so boom, boom, boom.
I'm sure Major League Baseball will take a look at this. You know, I'm sure they're probably gonna make the distance between, you know, first, second, third a little shorter. Maybe they're gonna shorten the base pass, if you will, so it doesn't happen so much. Because just like anything, you know, if you have too many no hitters, you have too many home runs, too many triple plays, Major League Baseball will adjust. They always do.
Well,
and that's why I want to bring. Hey, XLB is coming up next summer, folks, and we're going to have all the triple plays. We encourage triple plays. You get a triple play, $2 extra million in that bank account, whoever turns it.
Did you see the logo, by the way? The logo update was pretty good.
So updated logo. Yeah, people are really on board, and I appreciate it.
We appreciate the help, no doubt about it. Hey, college athletics is changing. The college athlete looks to be benefiting here soon. Likeness, image, all the rest. Supreme Court voted in favor 9-0 today. A vote that basically rewards the student athlete, the college athlete, to have the ability to, basically they said, hey, this is like a business. You're making a ton of money, especially football and basketball, yet it's unfair compensation for the player who's helping you make all this money. They said, what other business operates like that? That it would be that unfair, that grossly unfair of compensation to the employee if the employer was making that kind of money. off them. And so the 9-0 ruling in the Supreme Court, I mean, again, everything is sliding in favor of the student athlete. You got to, I mean, I think you're on board with it. I think we're kind of on the same page here.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. And, it goes to the Supreme Court, so it's a big deal. Now, you didn't need Schoolhouse Rock to sing you a song about, athletes getting paid in college. Like, listen, they're garnering a lot of money for the universities, and there's no compensation. 5 or 6 years ago, if you had a YouTube channel, that'd be an NCAA penalty, and you'd lose your sporting eligibility because of that YouTube channel. So it's obviously come a long way, and I think for all the right reasons. I think of these athletes, and once again, I understand, it's going to come, well, do football players make more than basketball players? Do football players make more than field hockey players? That's another conversation, okay? But the fact that we're taking the first steps and making sure student athletes get paid, or at least, a stipend to help them out through the process of being a student athlete, I'm all for it. And I'm glad the Supreme Court is on board as well.
We still don't know exactly where this will land in terms of how much and what the guidelines are going to be. There's this talk now that the commissioners of the conferences want to kind of limit that. Obviously, a Supreme Court ruling and all these other rulings that have, from a state level and a government level, a federal level now, have been in favor of the student athlete. Again, the collegiate athlete being able to get compensation. The NCAA doesn't necessarily want that, and at least to the extent that it could possibly go. And conferences can still set guidelines, so we'll see where that falls and lands. This is all coming together soon, though. Like, this is happening, and it's happening fast. And once it starts happening, it doesn't usually stop. So, this will just be a jumping-off point, and then we'll probably get to some other levels of this at some point. But from an endorsement point of view, from a commercial point of view, if you want to, you can make money. I mean, college athletes, if you're just jumping in on this conversation, they are about to make some significant money. Most likely, I think this leans toward the football player, the basketball player. But do remember that although those are the most high-profile sports, they do generate the most dollars. That's why we say it leans toward that, which means usually their popularity is greater than the tennis player or the baseball player or the softball player or the swimmer. But that doesn't mean they are necessarily. I think you'll get these outliers in here. You're going to get somebody off the women's tennis team at, like, Hartford, that's going to do this thing that they're going to be a viral star, and therefore compensation from an endorsement point of view or a commercial point of view, sponsorship point of view is going to come in play. That's the beauty of this, that I do think it will be open to everybody, not just the big-time athlete as we see it.
So here's what I wondered, though, thinking about this a little more. Let's go to Alabama. Alabama is sponsored by Nike, or at least their football team is. I don't know what everything else, but their football team is sponsored by Nike. Okay, so let's say whatever position you want to name, offensive lineman. Let's say that his name is now licensed, and he can use that to turn a profit. Could he sell jerseys, like Alabama jerseys with a Nike logo on it, or since Nike is its own separate entity from Alabama, would Nike say, well, no, you can't sell our jerseys because we make, there are Nike jerseys. Could that player still sell the jersey?
Yeah, you're going to ask me questions that I probably can't answer.
Yeah.
Those are good questions to entertain. I don't know what the limitations are going to be.
Because to me, that's the biggest thing. Because if you're talking about licensing a name, I mean, and I get it, every sport's going to be different, right? Like wrestling, they don't have jerseys. Gymnastics, they don't have jerseys, all that stuff. But I'm saying from the big sports, let's talk about football and basketball real quick. I mean, I think you'd make your most money off jersey sales. People want to support you. People want to rock your number when they're at the game. I wonder how that comes with the big companies that, make those jerseys, what the agreement would be with that.
Yeah, I still, that's a good point in terms of the jersey sales and all that other stuff. But you might have to, wherever this ends up someday being down, doing your own thing, I think at the likeness and image and name stuff, I think front and center goes to, hey, some car place wants you to endorse them, and do a commercial. You couldn't do that before. And so there's a lot of money potentially in that for, especially think of a big-time athlete. I always go to Tebow around here. I mean, how much would Tebow have made if this rule existed, like between 2006 and 2009, probably a lot. But so same with Kyler Murray, same with all these guys. And just being the ability to make money off an autograph. I mean, that is is going to be a big deal for so many of these athletes. I think they're going to be raking in money if they want it, right? How much do the demands on their time? I think we're going to run into a lot of different issues that we'll be discussing on this show along the way. That's just the nature of it, especially when something is new. Is it morally right? Is it ethically right? Is it by the rules right? But I still think the fascinating part of this to me is the non-high profile athlete kind of breaking through that barrier to kind of make their own dime,
sure,
in how much they make. I think there are going to be more cases of those folks that then we get introduced to, that we now know, and we have no idea who the women's tennis player is at Hartford, but now we know her.
Yeah.
I think that's the cool part of what could take place in all of this for the student athlete. But they got to get the guidelines together soon. The big deal today is the Supreme Court does side with the college athletes in terms of what they can do, because the NCAA and what they have been doing, they say it's a violation of the antitrust legislation.
Did you see Arizona State football with Herm Edwards? They're in some trouble. So Herm Edwards might be looking at maybe being out of a job over some COVID violations and some recruiting violations as well.
Take a look at that.
Check it out.
That's the one problem with... Well, first of all, it's a problem with people who know the rules, right?
Yeah.
But it's a bigger problem sometimes with a guy like Herm Edwards, say, who is coming back into the college game or into the college game and doesn't know that handbook the way, everybody else does. Or doesn't maybe think subconsciously that it's as big a deal as it is. Everybody involved with college athletics knows it's a big deal. Others kind of value that big deal more. And I would say a guy like Herm Edwards might be like, yeah, okay, we're going to do things right. I'm going to do things by the book. Well, until you see rule whatever on page 136 that you had no idea that you were breaking.
Yeah.
Or maybe you did. Maybe you did. And the COVID stuff, of course, is different. That's fresh for everybody.
Sure.
So if he violates stuff like that, that's certainly on him and everybody in the compliance, office here at Arizona State. We got more to come. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 on the way here on a Monday. Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show today, you missed this. But are the Buffalo Bills for real?
I think they are. I mean, I've been a big Josh Allen supporter.
How about his start?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not surprised.
I guess Jalen Ramsey wasn't right about him being trash. Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app. Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-the-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at MacDill Air Force Base or Eglin Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am. I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Yeah, I mean, it's high. I mean, guys, the confidence is still there. The confidence is going to remain the same. We're happy we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we're not satisfied. So it's great that we're here, but we still got some games.
That is Trae Young, who really had an abysmal game for most of it.
Yeah.
And then hit a big shot, but he still, to me, is the darling of the NBA playoffs and has been, and his stock, we talked about that last week, is through the roof. Hawks and Bucks, is this a good matchup for your Bucks?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have rather faced the Sixers or the Hawks?
So I love the home court advantage with the Bucks now obviously beating, because 76ers are out, so I like that. But honestly, I thought the Bucks matched up a lot better with the 76ers, which is a really unpopular opinion. But I think if you have Embiid out with that meniscus, he's not 100%. Lopez is fine with him, even though you don't think Lopez is good, and that's fine. It's okay. I like that. I like the fact that I think shooting-wise, Tobias Harris wasn't really playing that well. I think the 76ers were primed for the picking if they played the Bucks. The Hawks scare me a little more because of their shooting capabilities, because Trae Young can go off for 40 like that. Now, Bogdanovic, I guess, is out. This is, once again, the playoff of injuries, because Bogdanovic might be out for a while, so there's no telling how he's going to do. But now they got that new guy, the redheaded dude, who came out of nowhere, who just had the Herder or whatever, dropped 27 points like it was going out of style.
Came out of nowhere, man. He's from Siena.
Doing more with red hair than anybody ever has in the NBA.
He's got, family from Siena.
Shout out to Scalabrini.
Really.
Okay, I got you. You know him?
Yeah.
You know
the family. His dad was a really good player, too, and is, the color analyst for Siena basketball.
Okay.
And so he grew up around, we grew up knowing that name, so when I worked there, I knew the Herder name very well.
Yeah.
Then I kind of, when I left, he was starting to really make a name for himself.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, he's drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
But people I kept in touch with knew that he was going to be a stud guy. That was a big deal up in the Albany area. And now here it is. Like, yeah, that's the lead story in Albany, I can tell you that. Herder and the day he had yesterday. But, he's been a good player. He's just not like this widely known. But, he was a first-round pick. He was a 19th overall pick for the Hawks a few years ago.
No,
in the Trae Young draft.
He had a fantastic game. Now, once again, Doc Rivers, don't want to, labor the point too much, but why you're putting Seth Curry on him the entire game is beyond me, because the guy was tearing Seth Curry apart. Did you see John Collins' shirt after the game, too? John Collins in the postgame. And you want to talk about the flex of all flexes.
Yes.
Rocking a T-shirt in the post-game press conference with him dunking on Joel Embiid after he just beat Joel Embiid in the playoffs. I mean, that shirt had to be chalked up ready to go, correct?
Yes, it was.
And if they would have lost, maybe just like a black shirt then or something.
Yeah, turn it inside out.
Yeah, because you don't wear that shirt if you lose.
No, you don't.
So, chef's kiss to John Collins, who I'm so convinced in this Bucks-Hawks matchup, and obviously I'm taking the Bucks, Brent, to answer your question. It's the Bucks. Even though
I would too, but Atlanta feels like they got a good thing going right now, man.
Whatever. And I don't want to name any names, but there might be a certain group that covers the Jaguars on Twitter and stuff that is now a big supporter of the Atlanta Hawks, who's getting on the Hawks bandwagon, because in return, I guess the Hawks fans will get on the Jaguars bandwagon. I saw it last night.
Trade for that.
I don't want to get into it too much.
I mean, we do play the Falcons. Who are they rooting for in that game?
I'm just saying they're friends of the show a little bit, and I don't want to get too far into it, but I spoke my piece there. But I can't wait to see John Collins versus P.J. Tucker, because that's going to be the matchup of all matchups. Two of the pettiest players in the NBA, and I can't wait.
Yeah, and by the way, winning with class, I don't know if that counts in that category when you have the shirt on like that, but it's a good flex.
Come on, it's
a flex over class.
I mean, what do you class? You won. Do what you want to do. I mean, people were waving goodbye to Dame last year in the bubble. Like this is NBA, and there's going to be some pettiness.
No, that's fine,
and I'm cool with it.
And I think it's okay. That's
cool
the
with
thing,
it.
right? Like the trash talk ongoing even after wins and losses is like okay.
Did you? And another. I mean, this is. I love the. Listen, I understand LeBron's out of it. I understand in terms of ratings, maybe not the highest, but these playoffs have something for everybody. Did you see the Suns Clippers, the fight that took place after the game, where once again a fan ended up throwing a Clippers fan to the ground, punched him in the face, and what'd he say?
In 4.
Suns in 4. Suns in 4. Said it before he hit him, and then said it after he hit him.
So this is like the new thing.
This is the new thing.
Fight in a bar at Jack's Beach. It's whatever. ESPN 690 and 4.
I already told you. My next fight, if I knock the guy out, I'm saying to his face, Suns in 4. I'm getting right in his face, and this could be the Suns and the Bucks as far as I'm concerned. Like in the playoff, I'm saying Suns in 4.
Do you like parity over dynasty in this sense? These teams haven't won since like 1977. None of these teams.
Yeah.
This is the first time, believe it or not, since 1994 that both of the number 1 seeds are out before the conference finals.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen those numbers, but think about that.
Yeah.
That means there's no parity really in the NBA, or not enough of it. Now we've got it. Do we like it over the dynasties of LeBron? It's really player-driven dynasty, right? LeBron every year in the finals.
Yeah. No, I don't need dynasties of the NBA. I really don't. I need star power. Trae Young, star power.
Yeah.
I think Giannis Antetokounmpo, star power. Devin Booker, star power. Now, with the Clippers, I mean, Paul George, but Kawhi when he comes back, if he comes back, he might be up for the whole thing, star power there as well.
All right, we'll be back 4 o'clock coming up. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry, because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-the-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com. Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Don't pay, don't find out. Go Rhino Seal. Never paint your house again. Rhino Seal.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt-air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjax.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
The COVID-19 vaccine is an important choice for people at higher risk of COVID-19 complications because of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart conditions. Getting back to life. It's up to you. A message from the American Heart Association.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, Mets ace Jacob deGrom of the .54 ERA and 11 starts has been cleared to start Game 1 of today's doubleheader against the Braves. deGrom was pulled from his last start with discomfort in his right shoulder. NBA 76ers point guard Ben Simmons, shouldering the blame following the Game 7 loss in the Hawks series, said he didn't do enough for his teammates. He's got a lot of work to do. He does, and that should take place in Philadelphia, advises former NBA champion Meta Sandiford Artest.
He needs to take risks, and he needs to be supported the whole way through. I would never get rid of him because he's a superstar. He had a really bad series. Who didn't? And I think he has a lot of upside. He can only go up from here.
Now to Sandiford, our test on the Max Kellerman Show. The Supreme Court today decided unanimously that the NCAA can't enforce rules limiting education-related benefits that colleges offer student athletes. The ruling will help determine whether schools decide to offer athletes tens of thousands of dollars in benefits for things like computers. The ruling did not decide whether student athletes can be paid salaries.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is, like, the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Welcome back, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a happy Father's Day. You have a good Father's Day?
Couldn't get much better, Brent. Video games, great sports weekend. I'm all set.
Nothing special?
Got
that
cupcakes.
Kind of sounds typically.
I got, it is a Saturday at the Lane household. I got cupcakes, and my son played his first basketball game.
How you do?
Did good. Little. I'll be honest.
Can I come video?
You can come video. Low scoring games in these ones.
Yeah, like 12 to 10.
A little lower. Lower. Little lower than that.
7-6.
I think the final one was 10-6.
Also, man, that rim is tall.
Well, it is a tall rim. Don't really call traveling that much, and it's all good. But he scored the first 2 points. And then, in true NBA fashion, proceeded to come to the sidelines and run down the sidelines and try to high-five as many people as he could instead of playing defense.
I love it.
So, yeah.
He's watching TV.
And apparently watching a lot of Houston Rockets, now it's Brooklyn Nets, James Harden footage, because every single time he went in the game, he would run to the end and, like Harden does, chest bump the basket, whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? There's no basket there, so he chest bumps the wall. And he just jumps full speed into it, and then he comes back and plays defense. So, yeah, did as good as a 6-year-old could do, I guess.
I love when these topics just come up, but now you've got me asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most fun sport to watch your little kids play?
Oh, man.
Like, I'm talking 4, 5, 6 years old, okay? Like, I'm not talking now that, like, my kids are now 16, okay? Well, I love watching them play, but I'm talking, like, when they played soccer or they played basketball. Like, 'cause here's what you get in soccer. You know, you get it's almost like watching rugby in soccer.
Yeah.
But, no tackling.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is the ball will move, and then every kid moves, like, into this pod.
Of course.
Right? At the same time, it's boom, everybody's right there.
Yeah.
Like, the beautiful game is supposed to be kind of spread out and not in the kids.
Sure.
Not when they're 4, 5, and 6. And snack time wins the day anyway. It's not about soccer. It's really about snack time after the game.
Yeah.
But that pod of kids just moves, like everyone together.
And soccer stressed me out probably the most so far. Soccer stressed me out.
Really?
I didn't, because I don't know, basketball, it's like, hey, man, shoot it, go for it. Like, it's more of just like the whole crowd was engaged, and like all we're doing is supporting all the little kids.
Yeah.
Soccer, I felt like it was more every parent was out for themselves.
Oh, really?
Wasn't a lot of team camaraderie at our soccer events.
Really?
I mean, and once again, don't want to call anybody out, but there might have been an English family. And when I say English, I mean over the pond family. And their kid might have been obviously the best player on the team, but he was wearing cleats, and the form clearly said you cannot wear cleats. It has to be basketball shoes because they don't want kids to get hurt. Well, this kid was wearing cleats and, acting like a hooligan out there, let's just say. And I say that loosely.
I mean, why don't you tell us who he is?
And I was just waiting. We'll figure it out. And I was just waiting for my son to get cleated in the shin, and then now I got to fight somebody.
Nah, you're so soft.
What do you mean I'm soft? Follow
Dad.
the rules. Follow the rules, though, right? If it says no cleats on the sheet, then don't wear cleats. So the whole time,
all of a sudden you're a rule follower.
Well, I'm just saying. So the whole time this kid's scoring goals, he's like, "Oh, this kid's awesome." I'm like, "Well, yeah, he's wearing cleats, though. If you put my son with some cleats, see what happens. Guarantee he burns him."
Yeah, soccer is kind of cute to watch the kids because I feel like the kids can. That's like the earliest sport they can play. Like we couldn't play t-ball, I think, until we were 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like why we played soccer, because I think you could do it when they were 4, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We've never done the football thing, although I've watched a lot. The Pop Warner stuff, actually, when the kids are like 7 or 8 years old and in helmets and pads, it is kind of it's fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's a sight to see.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. I mean, there's obviously swimming. Swimming's never fun to watch as a parent, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I swam. My poor parents who had to watch that, like, it's boring.
Yeah.
And up north and you're inside and it's hot and humid as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, or here you're outside and it's hot and humid and it's a long day. I feel for your parents.
For sure.
All right, let's be honest. Cross country, I ran that too, so I'm not calling you out.
That one's
cross country ain't fun to watch.
But you're not they're not running when they're 4 or 5, 6 years old. Cross country, there's no way.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, running of any kind. I know. I got a little older
There's
there,
way
right?
too many wildlife. There's
I guess there are. Like, I see more kids running like 5Ks now. And it's just from like a community fundraiser standpoint.
Okay.
But at a young age.
Are they running or are they just walking them?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You need to make a 5-year-old run of 5K?
I feel like I see a lot like on Facebook of people and Twitter of people putting like young kids. I don't know how old. Maybe not 6. Maybe more like 8. But they're running at an early age.
All right.
Baseball, funny. T-ball's fun.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like if you watch one T-ball game, they're all the same right after that.
Not going to lie. I'm going to bring a book.
Come on, Nick. You got kids. What's been fun to watch?
All my kid does is he goes to
ride the
BMX
bike.
track.
Yeah, BMX racing.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's not fair. You're playing a different game.
It's fun, but
it's the game of games.
You know,
that'd be agonizingly like, oh, boy, I hope he doesn't get hurt too, right?
They wear pads and stuff. Nick's like,
he's crashed a few times, and one kid crashed into him and broke his collarbone, so it wasn't good.
Wait, the kid that crashed into him broke his collarbone?
Yeah.
Your son didn't break his collarbone.
My kid didn't break his collarbone.
Good, because
he was good. Although he's now scared to really try to pass people. A whole other show.
Right,
confidence is a thing.
Okay.
But a game that's fun to watch is ice hockey with little kids.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
That's good.
That's a good one.
That's
fun.
That's very good. So how old's your kid?
He's turning 7 in 2 weeks.
So how long has he's been BMX biking for?
Just since March.
So this is new.
Yeah, for us it's new.
Is that the earliest you can get into that?
No, you can. They've got what they call striders, which are like little bikes with no pedals, and they've got kids probably 3 years old out there, riding down some hills. Dude, these kids are crazy.
I bet they're awesome too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No fear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a track over on off of Dunn on the west side, and it's fun. He loves it.
That's pretty cool. We're sticking to big wheels at that age.
Yeah, I mean, my son hasn't been on a bike in a minute. He's probably that kid doesn't know how to ride a bike when he's like a grown man.
Funny, though, like I grew up with a kid that did the BMX stuff. He was really good. Mm-hmm. I remember him being good. I think he traveled around, so maybe I just thought he was good because kind of traveled around doing it.
Yeah.
And now this was more like as we're approaching middle school. Mm-hmm. But there's like a certain kid that you're like, he'd be good at that, because again, you do have to there's a fear factor involved in that sport and others too. But I don't know, with the bloodlines or I got a feeling Ronan could probably pull off the BMX.
The BMX thing?
I'm surprised you actually don't look into that.
See, Get him going. I don't know. I feel like BMX is super competitive though, Nick.
It is, but when they're little kids like that, like there's the one or two that are really good, and then the rest of the kids are just out there riding.
See, I'm just saying, if that would have happened to my son and some kid hit him and my son breaks the collarbone, hey, sons in 4. It's going to be sons in 4 on somebody. Someone's getting a sons in 4.
What the heck? You signed them up to race and bikes. You didn't think they might crash?
But you better believe I'm gonna go through the due diligence, make sure my son is qualified to be out there, not hot dogging out there trying to get people hurt. So it's going to be a sons in 4, and either a parent or a guardian or a chaperone, but someone's getting sons in 4.
I'll tell you what, Nick might be the right boss man. Nick might have it. Maybe it is hockey. No, it's hockey. Hockey might be. It is kind of fun.
No, BMX is awesome. Hockey, and to be fair, and once again, it's not for everybody, but you can drink a couple basic beverages at hockey games. Yeah. At least we could back in the day. I couldn't. Obviously, I was playing, but like my parents, they could have beer.
You drink anywhere with a red Solo cup, probably.
I feel like it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like at least in Wisconsin, like you can't go to a Pop Warner game and have a beer. In a koozie, like people are gonna come on. Hockey game, if you don't, someone's going to buy you one and be like, what are you doing? Get one here.
And the bottom line is,
somebody
thinks, what's in that cup? Well, it's just hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
but no, I think hockey is a good one. I like basketball.
You like the basketball, even though they score 10-7.
I do love the basketball because they're all shooting, though. Like, everyone's getting their shot. Now, once again, my son's doing a little too much passing because he had 3 assists. 3 assists out of
Look who's keeping score.
Well, yeah.
Like, nobody who's keeping score.
Dude,
in the
I
stats.
have the notebook. No, I'm keeping. I got everyone's name written down.
You're gonna be great.
Oh
over the
yeah,
next
for
few
sure.
years.
But he had 3 assists,
awesome.
and like, he was excited. Like, hey, I passed the ball. I'm like, yeah, I know you passed and everything. That's great, bud. But hey, if you're feeling it, feel it. Like, shoot it, man.
And hey, Bossman, Nick, I'm putting in a request to start that youth show tomorrow, by the way. Okay? And we're going to follow Austin.
Listen,
and Ronan.
Last time I checked, Ben Simmons doesn't have a sneaker. Okay, son? So if you're going to rock your Giannis's or you're going to rock your Kyrie Irvings, you need to shoot the ball a little more. Okay? Enough this passing nonsense.
That's...
Well, what would you say? You say, I mean, T-ball, because you probably grew up...
No, but I would say no to T-ball. Like, T-ball's fun. I mean, it's all fun to watch kids. I was just trying... As you said that, I was like...
I mean, we haven't started football yet. But see, and obviously I'm going to...
parents sit there and watch football, though, and just because of football, and listen, it's probably at that age very safe. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But just the violent nature of the sports, even like the BMX stuff, like it's really awesome. But at the same time, half of you is like tensed up watching because like, I hope my kid doesn't get hurt. I mean, listen, there's that part of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can do that in any sport. You can get hurt. But I just think some are a little bit more calm and relaxing to watch. Basketball's probably a little easier to watch.
Yeah.
T-ball's a little bit easier to watch. But I do, and so, I mean, they're fun to watch. But again, it's just kind of like, once you've seen 10 minutes of it, you've seen it.
Once again, it's fun if everyone's wearing the same footwear.
Basketball probably is different.
Yeah.
I think the tough thing about basketball, heck, Ty found this out when he played organized basketball, even when he was like 12, of course. Because like, as soon as you pick up your dribble, if you're little, you're screwed. Well, but unless they just don't call travel, then you can just start running with it.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, I told you a story off the show. I've been hounding, and I've been really been hounding. But yeah, we go to the gym and practice. We practice on dribbling.
4 hours a day.
I mean, nah, but we have to get 100 good dribbles in a row per day. And my son's all about it. He loves dribbling. He wants to go between the legs, all that stuff. That's great. So you better believe when it's game time, we're following the rules. You know, there's no double dribbles around here in the Wayne household. There's no traveling. Once again, don't want to call anybody out, but there's some kids out there that just want to run with the basketball like it's a football and then take a shot.
I would have.
And I'm turning to the ref like, hey, I mean, dude, come on. You aren't helping these kids.
Yeah. Once you run for a first down in basketball, it should be travel.
Exactly.
You know.
But no, dude, I'm just messing though. It's a blast. I love watching basketball.
Yeah, you just made me think of it. I mean, all those sports fun watching the kids at that age.
Yeah.
Does he play defense, by the way?
I'm not going to lie. Defense is a little left to be. I mean, he's got the height.
Defensive liability?
He's got the NBA game. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about defense? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Bucks and Nets turned it on.
Yeah, he turned on. This ain't playoff time. This is the first game of the season. Talk to me for the championship game.
Can you tell you've got a lot of athletic ability? Does Ronan have some athletic ability? Can you already tell? Like,
no,
I don't know what age you figure that out.
I'm not wrapped up in it. I have no idea.
No idea?
No idea. I'm afraid he's going to have my problems. He's going to grow too fast and have problems with coordination, because that was my big issue.
Yeah, well, that's tough.
I can walk a straight line.
Yeah.
It's like my entire life of high school.
Yeah, walk and chew gum is tough.
That was even an option. I'm just saying walking in a straight line, dude. I'm just saying walking. I'm not trying to do more than one activity. Walking was hard.
I'll say Ty was doing a camp last week. Yeah. A little baseball camp. And so for the little kid, it was probably his first time, I would say, doing something like this.
Cool.
And he's like, so they were playing, whatever, a wiffle ball, trying to hit it over the fence for a home run.
Yeah.
And he's like, they got the bat flips and the McGregor walks and and everything is like 5, 6 years old, man, and they got it all. Like, they got it all. So to your point, like the NBA game, it's just amazing how impactful like watching TV is on the little kids.
Dude,
like,
I'm telling you, made his first shot of the game, first score, and literally runs to the sideline and starts high-fiving everybody because everyone's cheering him on. So he loves it. Thumbs up. Like, dude, what are you doing? Go play defense a little bit.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to see. Hey, real quick, though, we're not going to spend a lot of time on it because I really don't think this is a big story. And you know me, I like golf. U.S. Open, I asked you if you'd watch it. We couldn't get DeChambeau and Koepka paired together. For a minute there, it looked like we could get DeChambeau and Koepka down the stretch.
Yeah.
Which then I would have texted you and told you to watch.
Yep.
But I mean, seriously, they were first and second on the leaderboard at one time yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, if you look, but for like a brief minute, and then DeChambeau, holy cow, he was terrible down the stretch.
So I actually watched a little bit of that collapse. I watched probably a good 10 minutes of it, and it was right when, like, I think DeChambeau reached the apex of his collapse because it looked like he was going to cry, honestly. And, dude, and the crowd was giving it to him.
Oh, I bet.
The crowd was not nice. I forgot what they said to him, but, like, he was flustered.
Yeah, so we had this chance because McIlroy was in the mix, DeChambeau was in the mix, Koepka was in the mix, Schauffele, who's become a big name in the sport, is in the mix. You got the Rahms and Oosthuizen.
And by the way, Bland fell off.
Yeah, totally, like gone. But, so you had all these players really that you've heard of, like that that is like, whoa, what a leaderboard. And at one time, 6 of them were tied at 4 under, like 1 shot back. And so in my estimation, I thought the U.S. Open kind of disappointed because I thought this was going to bubble down the last few holes to be like shot making and shot making and shot making. Now, to his credit, if you like golf, Jon Rahm's a great story. The last month, based on the Memorial and COVID, and he's a star of the game, and he was clutch. I mean, you talk about, a lot of times people lose events, right? They lose sports, big-time events, NBA Finals, miss shots or miss free throws or have the ball stolen away. He won it. He birdied 17 and 18 with 2 fantastic putts, and that's what you want to see. So it was good, but I thought we were about to get great theater down the stretch, and instead we had like an hour and a half of people just throwing up all over themselves on the golf course. I mean, it was like nobody could hit a shot. Like, and you see that sometimes, especially the U.S. Open. I mean, it's so tough, and listen, not like I could do it, but I thought we'd see like an hour of that. And if you watch a lot of these tournaments, you'll get like this part of the tournament where people start falling off, but then they come back and make all these big shots to at least make it interesting again. Never happened. It just never happened down the stretch. Like, DeChambeau just kept getting 7s and 8s.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, McIlroy never got off like 1 under par. Like, it just didn't materialize the way I thought it would materialize. I think coming out of this tournament where you had Koepka, DeChambeau, and all the rest, I still think like DeChambeau is the story, even though he didn't win or even come close. It was more because he collapsed.
Yeah.
And people are like, right now, a lot of people like to root against Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes.
And so to me, that's kind of the storyline. Yeah, Rahm's a storyline too. But again, I'm not talking to you, the avid golf fan. I'm talking to folks that don't pay attention to the U.S. Open. And if I ask you the headline, you're going to know about the back nine of Bryson DeChambeau.
No, for sure. And that's what they seem to be focused on when I was watching it. Once again, it was only for like 10 minutes or so. But that's what they were focused on, was the collapse of DeChambeau. So I agree with you there. Now, is that good for golf? I don't know, because at the same time, like, what do I know Bryson DeChambeau for? The guy gained a lot of weight. He wears a crazy hat, and he's going back and forth with Brooks Koepka in the most petty argument of all time. Not because I know Bryson DeChambeau is a big time winner and like a big time performer, and like he collapsed when he probably should have won. Like, that's not how I know Bryson DeChambeau from. So whether it's good for golf or not, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about it, so that's got to mean something. But at the same time, do you feel like Jon Rahm should probably get a little more shine?
Well, he should.
Yeah.
He should. And watch, I'm going to get this. I'm sure if I put this out on social media. I saw this quote from DeChambeau, and he was explaining, he was like, I just got some bad breaks. Like, that's what he was saying. But I don't think so. Like, I think if you really read his quotes, again, I'm not sure how many people are pulling for DeChambeau in this whole thing anyway. But if you read what he said, it was a lot like, it was typical what I've told you before, when a sports psychologist told me, you know, what they work with the golfers a lot. And I said, what do they all have in common? And he said, what they have in common is it's never their fault.
Yeah.
Right? They won't say, I did much bad, because they don't want to lose their confidence, right?
Yeah.
So they blame it on the grass, the wind,
but
the
it's like,
crowd.
how do you get better if you think like that?
I know. I think internally they do. I just don't know if they vocalize it. All right?
Okay.
Well, DeChambeau did that to a T after. He was like, oh, yeah, I just got bad breaks. He was like, I was fine. I mean, I got in this spot, and this spot, and this spot. And he never really was like, no, I just played like crap.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he never really owned up to that, at least from what I saw. And then he said something at the end of this article, the end of the article, and I was like, man, I don't like the sound of that. It was, it's all good. I've already got one, to that essence. Like, I've already won a U.S. Open. And it's like, wait a minute now. As a competitor,
satisfied.
And you're supposed to be like one of the stars of the sport right now.
Now we're satisfied.
And now we're good with just winning the one major?
That's like Tom Brady saying, I got one Super Bowl. We're good, Bill.
Exactly,
we're good.
Right? I mean,
let's put it in cruise control now.
I mean, LeBron James, oh, yeah, you're good. You made it to the finals, or you won one finally. You don't need to win again. Like,
let me ask you this.
Imagine if Tiger Woods ever said that.
Well, let me ask you this. Is DeChambeau the guy that's, like, really, like, I don't know, like, analytic, like, scientific?
Yes,
okay.
He's that guy.
So that makes okay because I was watching. Okay, yeah, because I forgot once again. I don't know the holes, but there was one he hit it essentially in the crowd, and it was right next to a Stella Artois case, empty. Yeah. By the way, good for them for getting all that publicity.
Yeah, nice.
But when he was walking up there, one of the crowd members goes, "What does the science say about that one?" And I didn't know what it meant, but that makes sense now because what does the science say about that? I guess because it's a bad shot, so they're making fun of him. But then, do you get the sense that when we talk about analytics and we talk about the numbers and stuff like that, does that take away maybe some of the motivation as well? Because now you're trying to calculate everything and you have no emotion towards it? Because comments like that are more analytical than they are, well, hey, I won whatever I won a couple years ago. We're all good. There's no drive there. There's no emotion there. That's the analytical side of Bryson DeChambeau talk.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things in golf that people have, if you really dig deep down, we got to get to break, but dig deep, there's so much money now in golf that you can be a check casher and be okay with it. And so it's I got to make a cut and I do this and boom, 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 and I'm going to cash a check and hey, bank account looks great. But where's my drive to be great?
Yeah.
Right? And DeChambeau feels like he's near the top of the golf world. He is. He's near the top of the golf world. But Brooks Koepka would never say a line like that. Yeah. It's almost like Brooks Koepka doesn't play unless there's a big trophy on the line.
For sure.
And I think that quote, man, that was a bad look to me. That's the way it came off. Hey, I already got one.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Don't worry, no problem.
But do you think he was saying that to downplay what obviously was him imploding on himself?
Yeah, I think maybe. It was part of that context. It was all in the context of, hey, I got bad break here, bad break there. I just had a bad 9 holes. But he hadn't made a bogey, I think it wasn't 30 holes. So he had been playing really well. And he's already it's not like he's a guy that can't close and can't win. He's already won big tournaments. So
in any other sport, though, you're going to get grilled for saying that.
I'm a little surprised there's not a little bit more on that today, unless I just misinterpreted the quote, but I don't think I did. I mean, that's the way it came across. And, I want this Koepka, DeChambeau, and whoever else, Justin Thomas and McIlroy thing. You want all these guys playing their best and want to win and keep working. Almost feels like, hey, DeChambeau's, I remade my body. I showed you it worked. Whatever happens now, I'm cool with. Too satisfied for me.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few showers and storms on this Monday, mainly midday, with afternoon highs topping out near 90 degrees. An isolated shower tonight, most spots dry, though, partly cloudy, low 74. Have a great Monday. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sema.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beards Diamonds.
Don't pay, don't find out, go Rhino Seal. Never paint your house again. Rhino Seal.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjax.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
All right, boss. That's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see. 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs. 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Laughable.
Yeah. And 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work. No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of a thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
One of the more difficult issues facing small businesses today is having enough work to keep good employees. What if your business was affected by a sudden or extended drop in income because of COVID-19? What can be done to ensure that the people who are your top performers remain with you? Many of our SCORE volunteers have faced similar situations and willing to share their expertise. Take advantage of the opportunity to gain their knowledge by registering to participate in a SCORE webinar or schedule a free confidential meeting with a counselor at jacksonville.score.org.
CGC Water has been telling you, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax and ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
But, man, when you hit, what is that button you used to hit, like the X button to accelerate?
Austin Lane.
I haven't played Madden in, 10 years. Sorry to let you down there.
That was a major letdown.
Yeah,
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Maybe on social media, people might be coming for Cole Beasley, but he doesn't care about what people say on social media. He cares about his team and his teammates, and his team and his teammates are, for the most part, saying, hey, we've got your back. If you want to wear your mask and work out by yourself, those are some of the rules. If you got to work out in a group smaller than 15 or go outside, then that's fine, and the coaches will accommodate, because once again, they can't force a player to get vaccinated. Now, as I mentioned, a general manager or a coach, may have that desire, but you can't make a player do it now.
That is Sam Acho, NFLPA Executive Committee Vice President is now his title.
Wow.
Manuel's brother.
Yep. I played with Sam.
You did say that. I know. You told us good stories about Sam.
Yeah.
He took a very kind of politically correct, I would say, stance on the Cole Beasley stuff. Obviously one of the players of in his NFLPA. So there's a lot of reaction over the weekend for Cole Beasley. So here's the deal. To go back on this, the NFL comes out last week and basically said, and this is the way I describe it. It's not the way they described it, but it's totally have and have not. It's if you have the vaccination for COVID, you can almost do anything as normal. Maybe a couple things short of normal, but pretty normal. If you don't have the vaccination, well, you're not going to be doing anything normal. I mean, you're totally different than the rest of your team if you decide to not get vaccinated. and there's a lot of numbers of players that still have not been vaccinated. So from a convenience standpoint, I would think getting vaccinated would be, at the very least, convenient to operate and play the football season for a player. But it's up to them. They can't be forced to, and there are designations and rules for those that don't.
Yeah.
What I think is going to be really tricky is for the team operations and the coaching staff to manage and operate with the folks that aren't vaccinated. Because I think it will be a relatively small number. I don't think it's going to be like 2, but it might be 8 to 10. And so then those folks are almost treated, coached, maybe not coached, but the operations of a daily routine are going to be different for those 8 to 10 folks than they are for the other 40 to 45.
For sure.
Fair enough?
Yeah, and I think it puts yourself as a player and it puts your team at a competitive disadvantage.
And that's pretty much what the NFL, I think, wanted to create.
Correct.
What I said last week is a little surprised how agreeable maybe the NFLPA was in all of this. There's really not a bridge between the two. I mean, it is, you're on this side or you're on this side.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to make do. Well, what some players, and Cole Beasley being one of them, is saying, I'll make do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. Now, do I agree with Cole Beasley here? No. I read his statement. Now, long statement. Next time, put a video out there, and I'll just check that out.
It's a lot of reading.
But, yeah, a whole lot of reading that day. But and I read, and listen, once again, I don't agree with it, but I respect what he's talking about. Right? I mean, you can make it political if you want to. That this is, I understand like every single sports news source would make this political because that's the world that we live in, so I get that. But this guy has essentially drawn a line in the sand and said either you let me play how I am or I'm going to retire. So be it. That's his right. That's his God-given right. So be it. I think that, with the situation, this is why I was so adamant about saying there's got to be an opt-out clause or something like that for this year. Because once again, I see where Cole Beasley is coming from, okay? You don't believe in it. You're going to stand your ground. You want to live your life. You don't want to be scared, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Once again, don't agree with it, but I respect it. But at the same time, like, this is, your employer, right? Like, I feel like every company has protocols, has things that you probably don't agree with, but you do what you have to do because they're writing the paycheck. And sometimes you got to give a little ground to get a little money. So, and I respect Beasley saying he's going to play for free or whatever the case may be. Okay, that's fine, and that's very righteous of you. But I just don't get the fact that you're going to go gung-ho about this when they're like any other employer. I feel like, we have a pretty strict, we used to have a really strict mask thing. We had to wear masks in this building. I mean, is it the most ideal? No, but dude, it's a mask. It's not a big deal. No problem. But like, if I wasn't going to wear that, who knows what was going to happen? Maybe I don't come to work then. Maybe they ask me not to come to work. Maybe I lose my job because of it. I didn't want to go down that road. I want to make a paycheck. I want to make money. So to me, it wasn't that much of an issue at all in this building. With Cole Beasley, like, he's made enough money. So money has nothing to do with it now.
Yeah.
The guy is financially stable. What it has to do now with him, it's his moral well-being, about how, I guess, he was raised and the things that he believes in. That's what the issue is right now.
Well, and let's be honest, from a Cole Beasley standpoint, I'm not saying his stance is even from a political standpoint, but if he wants it to be with the amount of money that he's made, he can. Most people, you and me or whoever, we're working in here, we can't make that stance and be comfortable with either being let go or walking away or not abiding by the rules without a paycheck. All right, so that's where this falls in a little bit differently than the average person.
Yeah.
But I think this also brought out a ton of critics because of the way he kind of addressed it. You mentioned like maybe a video message would have been better because the way we read things sometimes gets interpreted differently. And he came out kind of firing at the people that think you should be vaccinated and you should be doing what the team wants you to do, the NFL wants you to do, all those things. He says, look, I'm going to live my one life like I want to regardless. Everyone, hi, I'm Cole Beasley, and I'm not vaccinated. I will be outside doing what I do. I'll be out in the public. If you're scared of me, then steer clear or get vaccinated, point blank, period. People have a lot of problems with that because you're basically saying you could be impacting and infecting and all those other things. That's one of the big things about people wearing masks is, okay, I'm uncomfortable around it because I feel like I might get it, you know. And he's basically saying, screw that. I'll go grocery store shopping. I'll do all this other stuff, but I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of the angst and the pushback on Beasley came from almost the way he started this thing.
Sure.
You know, in his statement. I just said out there, I just put out over under 7. Now think you got a 53-man roster. Okay, this is what I'm working off. Not working off your 90-man roster, but in a 53-man roster, 7.5. I put the over under of not vaccinated players.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to imagine here, folks, and listen, there are a lot of right now it's way over. And Josh responded quickly, said over, way over. In terms of way more that probably into the double digits at the very least of players that won't be vaccinated. But what I'm trying to fathom a little bit is, again, that operational stuff, how you load a team up on the plane, what they can do once they're at the hotel. What's that pocket of players look like? Is it 2 or 3? Is it 12? Is it 22?
But to me, the protocols clearly stipulate that you can't go out in public. And if you're seen out in public, then that's in violation of protocol. Now, I'm not sure what the consequence would be, but one would think suspension, fine, whatever the case may be.
Well, they say the fines.
Yeah.
The fines can go up to $50,000, but can increase with multiple multiple times of it happening.
Yeah.
Multiple offenses, if you will. It sounds like a weird word to use on this, but you get fined for a lot of money.
Yeah, so that was the big one to me. What'd you put the over-under on?
I put it 7.5, and now I probably put it way too low from at least some of the early response. A lot of people.
Well, so here's the thing.
I should have clarified. I'm thinking of a 53-man roster once this season gets going.
Yeah.
Most people maybe are thinking when we get to camp at 90-man rosters.
But so here's the thing about it. It's a competitive disadvantage if you have like 2 or 3 guys that are sitting out. But how much of it is a disadvantage if like you have 12 or 13 or 15 guys that didn't get vaccinated that are now like
kind of doing their own little thing.
Doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of guys. They could be star players as far as we're concerned. So like that.
Yeah, what I don't know, Austin, to be honest with you, is like I think you're right. I think I think it is a competitive. If a team has.
It's just extra
if a team
work.
has 15 players that are not vaccinated and another team has none, I think you're right. I think there is this competitive disadvantage because of just the operations, the smoothness of it all, maybe even the distraction. There might be disagreement by some player, right? I mean, how does that do for chemistry? It's like, hey, come on, now let's all get vaccinated so we can do this together. You know, I mean, I know there are sports teams from high school to college that basically said, hey, we're going to, are we all in on doing this the same way so we don't get COVID? You know, don't go out here and there during our season. You know, we want to have our season. You know, that was kind of some of the mantra this past year in some areas. Our team leaders, our veterans, guys that only have a year left or so, are they going to look down upon somebody that's maybe comes off looking selfish in this conversation because they're doing their own little thing, not as part of a team, and there might become a distraction, or we constantly have to talk about it. We wonder if they're going to have COVID, all these things. So I don't know. I don't know where it fits on the field. I get it from a disruption of the operation of an everyday for Urban Meyer and his staff and Pete Carroll and his staff and everybody else around National Football League. What I really don't know is, what does that mean on Sundays? Like, does that make Seattle worse than somebody else if 12 players choose not to get vaccinated? I don't know. I don't know if we know how to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I would make an argument that the team that is fully vaccinated is going to have the big-time advantage because, once again, like, yeah, talent is one thing. If you have talent, then, yeah, you can win. But another thing is how you operate during the week, how you game plan, how you prepare, how economical you are with your time and your energy. And if you have 10-plus guys that are doing things a different way that you have to cater to, well, that's time and energy that has to go dedicated towards that. That's, in my opinion, where the competitive, disadvantage comes from. Now, as far as what you're alluding to a little bit from the team dynamic, where would you have guys on Sunday, feel a certain way because, well, we had to do this because of you now, right? So we're almost catering to your needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there would be some of that. I think you'd be crazy to say otherwise. I think that there will be some of that dynamic.
Yeah, I think the chemistry could be at risk, right?
Yeah. Now, once again, Cole Beasley said in his statement, like, there's other guys out there that are afraid to come forward. That's probably the truth. Now, how many of those guys per locker room? I have no idea. But, see, to me, this is going to be a lot about, and it's so cliche that we say this, but it's a lot about culture here. Because whether it's religion, politics, like locker rooms have always been divided on various topics. True. And more topics eventually will come down the line that we will probably, that players will probably argue about.
And manage to win big, right?
Yeah, you can manage to win big. It's just the way of the world. But those players that can do that, they're in a culture and an environment that can help that. You know, that can put the differences aside and focus on one goal. Now, this is a pretty big thing going on here, because if we have guys on one side that can't talk to other guys on the other side, well, that's more than just not agreeing on something. Right now, it's like you're catering to their needs. So I don't know what this is going to look like. Obviously, I would hope that, 99% of the teams would be vaccinated just for the betterment, I think. But once again, if you don't want to do that, that's on you. But I definitely think it's definitely a competitive advantage if your whole team is vaccinated.
Well, I think about this, too, in this conversation. Last year you opted out and you were basically opting out for the year. Sure. Right? I mean, but there came a time where you couldn't – there were some that turned and said, okay, I'm going to come back. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I'm trying to think of who did that. I thought there was a couple examples of somebody that they were going to opt out, or at least maybe it was just threatened to opt out and never did. But once – the point being on this is that's not as absolute. The vaccination is not. If somebody wants to try this out during the camp and say, I'm going to do my own thing, and then realizes by like Labor Day, oh man, I'm getting vaccinated. Like, I don't want to do this. Now, they might still, they got to obviously wait out the vaccination period, and they are risking now in season having a negative impact from the vaccination. Therefore, could lose a day or two. But it's not like you can't get vaccinated and then get on the other side. You know what I mean? Onto the haves team.
You're
from what they're allowed to do.
You're absolutely right. I'm really curious how this whole dynamic's going to play out because it's so. It's such a conundrum, right? Because players all the time hold out for money, and they don't show up to training camp. One could say, well, you're being a detriment to your team. You're putting your team at a competitive disadvantage. Agreed. But players in that locker room, they all understand that.
They're fine with it.
Because money comes first. When we talk about this, like, this is more of, like, your ethics and your morals, which, players understand. But at the same time, without getting too in-depth into it, I've seen guys come to blows over talking college football. Who's a better team or who's the better NBA team? And then obviously politics as well. So how are guys going to respond when, moral ethics come into play?
Especially if they feel like you're hurting the team in any way. And there's not money involved. There's really not.
No, there's not. There's not that I don't call it an excuse, but there's not that excuse.
Yeah, it's new territory for sure. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny. I don't talk a lot about golf here because I know that unless something like Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson-esque is happening, not enough people are into it. But do you know what could bring people into it? Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka hating each other. Stop acting like you are above being a sport. So if you want more people to get interested in it, let interesting things happen.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
I'm a call-it-like-I-see-it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Hey. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work. No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer, on average, got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show, hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Just be confident. Community First makes smarter banking simple so you can relax, knowing you're managing your money the right way. Yours. Visit justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA.
I can pop a beer in here, right? Your cousin from Boston. This here is Sam Adams Boston Lager. It's my go-to beer. Not too heavy, not too light. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, that's... Whoopsie daisy. Oh, no. Is there somebody that can help? Come on in the room. It poured right in the keyboard. Relax. I spill beer on my computer all the time. Sam Adams Boston Lager. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Drink responsibly.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays, 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I still think this is Giannis' team. I just think you're seeing an evolution of the role he's playing. And I mean, he still put the team on his back. You know, a big criticism of Coach Bud, and you guys and I have talked about this numerous times, was how he was going to use the roster, extend the minutes of the starters into the postseason, and you have seen that evolution from...
That's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee talking about Giannis and the Bucks. It's an interesting question about such a superstar kind of guy. Is he still the guy on this team? And Middleton really hadn't played well until the last couple of games now. And so now Middleton's name is starting to be thrown around. But like we talked about earlier, can you be the guy? Can this be your team if you're not the closer? Like, yeah. That's an interesting thing in sport. That's a weird thing. Hey, as we know it, Michael Jordan, it was his team because he was the closer. Yeah. LeBron James, he was the closer, and people got mad if he passed it. Okay. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, those were their teams that they were going to close it.
Had to throw Larry Bird in there, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Yeah, you did.
Jack Sikma, it wasn't his team. He wasn't going to close it. Is Giannis Jack Sikma?
Brent. I laughed at the Jack Sikma thing because obviously in terms of post
moves. You like when I say Jack Sikma.
Well, yeah, because I mean I had a high school basketball coach that would drive Jack Sikma into my brain about how you have to be, you know, the fundamentals of playing in the post and all this stuff. I want to be Anthony Davis. Nah, I'm Jack Sikma. Anyways, to compare, and I get that you're joking. It's for a comedic effect. And okay, so
it's pretty funny too.
But no, Giannis is not Jack Sikma now. Who was the lady that said this is Jen what?
Jen Latta, I believe.
Jen Latta. Okay. Well, Jen, come for your job now. Because yes, this is still Giannis' team. Because last time I checked in a Game 7 against the Brooklyn Nets, Giannis had, 40 points and 13 rebounds. Is that good?
That is good.
Is that decent?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would still say it's Giannis' team. Oh, and by the way, back-to-back MVP winner. So I don't know what more you want from the guy. Yes, still Giannis' team. Got any more brain busters?
Yeah, well, I just think it's a fair question. This isn't like an indictment on Giannis, not like Ben Simmons. It's not that conversation.
I feel like you're attacking him a little bit.
No, but you've admitted that he's not the closer.
True.
So
True, Brent.
Well, so hey, Giannis, it's your team for 46 minutes. It's Middleton's team for the final 2.
Sure. Okay, well, let me ask you this. When Shaq played in Orlando, was it Shaq's team? Was it Anthony Hart? I mean, when Shaq was in Orlando, would you call it Shaq's team?
I still think, yes.
You think it was Penny's team? Because I had one guy hanging up on my wall, one guy wasn't. Shaq was hanging up on my wall.
I bet a lot of people had Penny hanging on their wall, too.
I'm just saying I had Shaq on my wall.
At least for the early time, for a couple of moments.
But I'm saying, is it Shaq's team?
I would still say it was Shaq's team. Because they didn't make people like Shaq.
Correct.
In part.
Correct.
Kind of like Giannis.
They don't make people like Giannis. But at the end of the day, if you needed, a couple points, do you put Shaq on the free throw line? Probably not, so you probably go with Penny.
Yeah.
Just like you probably go with Middleton. But Shaq was still the guy. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Exhibit B and the prosecution rests.
Yeah, the problem is there's not many exhibits of this. At all. There really isn't. Seriously. Okay. I mean, you think about all the good players in the NBA. If I ask you, is this John Morant's team? Yes, it is, and he's going to close it.
Sure. Agreed.
Obviously with Kevin Durant, it's been his teams. He's the closer. Steph Curry now, he's the closer. Now, they had like a myriad of them, right?
Yeah.
But Kawhi Leonard, it's his team. It's not Paul George's team.
Correct.
And Kawhi's going to end it. It was in Toronto. It was in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one, is it Donovan Mitchell's team? Is it Booker's team? Donovan Mitchell might be an interesting one.
You talking about for the Jazz?
For the Jazz, yeah.
Yeah, you got Rudy Gobert, but it's definitely Mitchell's team. Spider, all day.
So I think...
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Who's the biggest closer and who's the biggest, probably, it guy ever? Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Steve Kerr took the last shot.
True.
Steve Kerr won the game.
Okay, that is true. LeBron, by the way, got roasted for those kind of moments when he tried to give it to somebody else.
Correct.
Michael was getting a lot of the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Paxson, Kerr, those guys hit the shots.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, though, while you're right on that, and I know you did watch the game, you're not like other guys aren't hitting the shots because Giannis is getting all the attention and he's freeing them up. They're hitting the shot because it's designed for them and not Giannis.
Towards them, yes. That's fair.
It's like, again, you're a fan and you want the ball in Middleton's hand.
Correct.
That's why the question exists.
Yeah.
It's just, again, listen, I thought we started this show with Ben Simmons as a very unusual athlete for me. I don't think we see this in sports where he just doesn't seem to fit the way the game's played, yet he's super talented. Like, in a lot of facets of the game. Nobody can deny it.
Yeah.
He's very talented. Giannis, I was watching that game the other night and thinking kind of similar. Now, the big difference is he scores 35 points. So he keeps you in the game. He gets you to the point where you're allowed to finish or you're already up. And so you don't need to finish, right? So, again, this isn't knocking the way he plays, but he's an unusual athlete in the sense that he's not the guy you're asking to finish.
True.
If you go back, even like all the way back, I'm thinking Akeem Olajuwon, he'd finish. Even though he had Drexler would then finish sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's very unusual in this sport especially that if I say whose team is this, that guy's usually going to finish the game. And in Giannis and the Bucks' case, if they go to the NBA Finals and it's Game 7 and it's tied and there's 10 seconds left, you, the fan of the Bucks, will not want the ball in that guy's hands.
I got you.
Most of the time. Unless it's in the paint and he's going to finish. But you're not designing the play most likely for him.
Okay, but keep in mind, a minute left in overtime and they're down by 2. Giannis put it in, and Giannis drove the lane. So, I get what you're saying, because what everyone remembers from the Bucks-Nets matchup, the last Game 7, was Middleton at the end having the dagger. And it was off an isolation play that was designed for him. But before that, when the Bucks needed a bucket, and they needed a bucket more than anything because momentum was changing a little bit, Giannis delivered.
Yeah.
So was that him not listening to the coach and say, hey, I'm taking it, maybe. But he still showed that he had that dog. Now, if Giannis got fouled, he goes to the free throw line, then I'm a little nervous.
That's it.
But
that's really the biggest thing, right? That's the issue. It's not that he doesn't have the mentality to do it.
Yeah.
People wondered if LeBron had the mentality to do it. That's when the critics came. I'm not even sure people question that. It's like you can't because you can't trust him to make a free throw if he gets fouled.
But, by the way, hey, Nets fans, keep saying 1, 2, 3 because that helped him.
Yeah.
Because he had one of his best free throws.
Yeah. He's actually been better.
Yes.
Over these, you can tell it's such a mental fatigue thing for him. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
He's wearing it. Just like every dribble and every second.
I know.
He's wearing it.
Just take a jump shot,
It's
dude.
a fascinating thing. I mean, the NBA playoffs is pretty wild right now, and I think it does speak to parity. I asked the question earlier in the show, parity over dynasty. I'd take parity all day. I like the new blood. I like to see these new storylines.
Yeah,
you need a certain element of the dynasty and the LeBrons and the Currys, but we needed a new storyline, I think, in the NBA, and we kind of got it right now. We'll be back. Football at 5 on the way. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What? The moon is hollow?
No, not that. This. I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just, like, without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right. I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Or SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's the real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I'm Alfreda Boney, founder and CEO of Perfectly Suited Career Consulting. I'm proud to be a Jax Chamber member and to serve on the advisory board of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. The JWBC is innovating and adapting, embracing the digital transformation to serve more women in Northeast Florida. For example, we are launching the Network of Trust program that will mentor and vet female business owners, preparing them to take the next step as a company. For more information, visit jaxchamberfoundation.org.
Trucks, and more trucks, plus over 300 Primo pre-owned, all makes and all models. Find it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Arlington Toyota has some of the biggest pre-owned truck selection I've seen. I'm talking Tundras, Tacomas, imports, domestics. You'll find it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Even better, you have 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, almost everyone is approved. Plus, Arlington will give you top dollar for your trade. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show, hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. On this day after the 76ers season ended, Coach Doc Rivers says the team has an off-season plan to address Ben Simmons' shooting problems that'll involve doing the right work and doing it the right way. He did not go into detail. Meantime, there have been calls for the Sixers to trade Simmons after his disappointing playoffs, but it won't be easy for Philly to deal him, believes Hall of Famer Charles Barkley.
What general manager in his right mind would watch the last 5 games and say, we need to go and get that guy and give up something for him?
Charles Barkley on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Simmons has 4 years, $140 million left on his contract. The Mets will have ace Jacob deGrom on the hill in the opener of today's doubleheader against the Braves. deGrom, who left his last outing with shoulder soreness, has been cleared to start today. The Supreme Court decided unanimously that the NCAA can enforce rules limiting education-related benefits that colleges offer student athletes. The ruling will help determine whether schools decide to offer athletes tens of thousands of dollars in benefits for things like computers. The case does not decide whether student athletes can be paid salaries.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
WOKB Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
If I'm the Packers, the verb I'm using, I'm scouring for any quarterback. That can include Nick Foles. I'm going to monitor that Russell Wilson situation. I don't think that's going to happen. Is it Jimmy Garoppolo? Is it Gardner Minshew? Whatever could be out there, I'm going to look at any and all possibilities. Is it Joe Flacco? Because I have a really good football team, and if Jordan Love just isn't ready, which is no fault of Jordan Love, he basically didn't get a chance to practice last year because of COVID. We know Bortles isn't good enough, so I'm going to scour any alternatives I can get to give ourselves a chance to win this.
It's Mike Tannenbaum again. Football at 5 here on a Monday. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What's happening with the Aaron Rodgers stuff? Kind of silent now, right? I mean, I guess we'll find it's going to heat up as we enter July.
Yeah.
It'll be about a month off of this stuff.
Well, the last thing that I heard was probably like 2 weeks ago at the luncheon when the president said that.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I forgot. It wasn't a handful. It was
yeah, I forget the phrase he
something
used
along those. A complicated guy.
It might have had
a complicated
in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
A complicated individual might have
complicated fella.
Fella. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Fella. He used fella
Yeah.
because he's 80, so he called him fella.
I kind of like the word fella.
I bet you do, man.
Yeah.
By the way, how's that whole hero versus goat thing going for you? Did you win that one or not?
I don't know. Nobody said. I'm going to have to put a poll question out. They didn't really respond to it.
Because nobody's ever heard that before.
Yes, they have. I mean,
hey, I'm waiting for someone to come in on your Twitter right now.
Right,
and
I'm doing the poll.
Oh, now we're doing the poll. Because he refuses to concede.
No,
Can
I'm
you
not
concede?
conceding this.
You got to concede. If nobody tweeted you back, you got to concede.
Common saying.
Hey, 20,000 followers, and not one of those 20,000 followers hit him back about the hero versus. I don't think anybody did, though. Because I think we'd be talking about it if they did. I was going to forget about it. But no, with the Aaron Rodgers thing, yeah, the whole complicated fella does not add to it. Actually, I was having a conversation with my friends back home a couple days ago about this, and they still get the vibe that he's coming back because of what it would mean to his teammates if he left. Guys like Mercedes Lewis. And I think Mercedes Lewis is on TMZ because the guy lives on TMZ in case you didn't notice. Mercedes Lewis is really big in California. That's where he's from. Mm-hmm. But he was on TMZ saying he thinks Rodgers is going to come back as well. I think Rodgers is still coming back. I can't foresee him going anywhere else. I don't know. I think he's coming back. I really do.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back for a lot of different reasons. I think we've explored those in the past, but I mean, it's just a fascinating observation. I mean, it would be unbelievable if Gardner Minshew ends up on the Packers somehow and Blake Bortles is there, too.
Yeah. No, it'd be insane.
And by the way, and somehow you get Foles in there.
Well, for sure.
Because Foles sitting there just collecting $24 million.
Yeah.
Really, he's still collecting part of the $88 million. And he's like the third-string guy now in Chicago.
I forgot.
They can't unload him.
It might have been Tannenbaum. I was listening to somebody that said that the price for Aaron Rodgers would probably be 2 first-rounders, a second, a fourth, and then a star player of that team.
Nobody could do that.
Well,
That's not happening.
Okay, well, I'm saying from Denver's perspective, they were saying how it could be Bradley Chubb as the star player, and then 2 first-rounders, the second, and the fourth or whatever.
2 firsts, a second, and a fourth for a guy that's going to be 38 years old?
I forgot who it was. I wish I knew, but that's what they're talking about on one of the NFL shows.
I will take this right now. If somebody lands Aaron Rodgers, it won't be for that price. I would say it will be for less than that.
What's going to be the maximum, in your opinion, then?
I'm not good at this game. I'm just saying it's not going to be that.
You don't think 2 first-rounders?
No.
Brent?
No.
Really?
No, I don't.
Really?
And a player, especially. I mean, get that out of there. The fourth, the second, whatever.
You don't think 2
first-rounders?
For Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think so.
Wow. I disagree. I disagree big time. I mean, if you look at what teams sacrifice to trade up in the draft to get to the quarterback. Now, once again, I know Aaron Rodgers on the back 9 of his career, but this is a returning MVP we're talking about here. Like, it's not like this guy's just washed up. I mean, he played the highest brand of football at the quarterback position last year. I'm giving up 2 first-rounders all day.
But, you know, I'm just trying to find some logic here and just not dismiss right away, because my first, as I did, was dismissive. I'm trying to go back, and you think of, like, Laramie Tunsil and the deal that it was done, and you think of Jalen Ramsey right here, right? 2 first-rounders and a fourth that the Jags were able to get. Talk about like a 23, 24-year-old guy in a totally different position. The value of the quarterback position is so much more.
Yeah.
So if this was for Patrick Mahomes, it would cost you 5 first-rounders, you know, and 2 players.
It costs you stock options, ownership options.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's really got just a few years left.
But once again, though, a former MVP. I mean,
I'm sorry, current. That's fair. That's a fair thing to say.
Yeah,
that makes it a little more palatable, I guess. But I mean, if anybody would do it, I mean, I could see a John Elway trying to do it. Like that just seems absurd for that kind of value to me. And a player of Bradley Chubb's stature. I mean, he's been hurt here and there, but
well, okay. I mean, look at this though. Look no further than last year or this past draft. Justin Fields. The Bears gave up a first-round pick next year, and then they gave up a 4th-round pick for Justin Fields.
Yeah, just to move up like 9 spots.
Exactly.
But again, you're talking about a guy they think is going to be there for 15 years, not for 4.
And I get that.
Or 3,
yeah,
or 2.
But they think. This could be another. I mean, I'm not going to compare to Mitch Trubisky, but like you sacrifice for Mitch Trubisky, where did that get you?
Let me ask
Nowhere.
You
At least you know you're getting Aaron Rodgers.
Real quick, we'll get to Rick Rouse, but
okay.
If Denver got Aaron Rodgers, like where do you all of a sudden put them in like the Super Bowl sweepstakes?
I mean, obviously you still have to go through Kansas City, and that's going to be rough. You're in the same division. I agree.
And do you think they're better than the Bills?
Well,
do you think they're better than the Colts and the Titans and the Browns?
Well, I'll say this. If you want to compare weapons at wide receiver to Green Bay, I mean, yes, you have Devontae Adams, but a little comparable.
Some good receivers.
A little comparable. O-lines, a little comparable. Run game, obviously advantage Green Bay, but still, Melvin Gordon, a little comparable. I'm not sure how the defense is. Now, coaching, I'm not a big Vic Fangio's, believer because he had those mistakes last year. But who's to say Aaron Rodgers can't turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, certainly would elevate them. I'm just saying that's the buy-in, though, you're asking for. The next 2 years, are you going to win a Super Bowl? That's what they did with Peyton Manning. And they said, okay, we're going to build this around. I don't even know if they'd be, like, in the 5th, 6th, 7th conversation. Well, probably the 7th. But I think there are a good 4 teams that you'd put ahead of them in that conversation. Let's get to Rick Rouse. Haven't talked to him in a bit. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What's happening, man? How's the fishing been?
Well, Brent, it's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. Depends on what side you're on. Up in Jacksonville, it's really been pretty tough. The water is dirty. We've had strong tides. We've got strong west wind. the redfish bite has slowed considerably, although Captain Robert Johnson managed 15 pretty nice flounder down in St. Augustine today. That was probably the catch of the day. His boats were out deep in the along the edges of the Gulf Stream, said the current was running really hard. It was rough. It made for tough fishing conditions. They caught a few mangrove snapper. They caught a few mutton snapper, but they didn't do great. Now, I'm down in Stewart. I'm on the other end of the sweepstakes where the sailfish bite is on fire. We've caught a dozen on my boat, the 7 in the last, I guess 4 or 5 days. We had 5 yesterday for our best day. Really good summer sailfish bite down here. Now, looks like the wind's going to stay up through tomorrow, then maybe start backing off a little bit as we get toward the weekend. I think we're going to be into a better time than the end of the week than it is right now. For right now, Brent, fishing's tough, but you can count on us to be back to talk about it tomorrow with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
All right, have fun down in South Florida. Rick Rouse, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, Brent.
All right, that is the Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. Make sure you join Rick each and every Saturday as well, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. on ESPN 690.
We'll continue the Aaron Rodgers conversation in a second. But, and I'm not sure why I'm not hit to the game because I should have saw this coming from a mile away. When you try to make a point on your Twitter polls, you phrase it so much to your argument that it's not even fair. Because you said, have you heard of the phrase hero and goat? That means I thought it was hero or goat. So now it's hero and goat?
Hero and goat, hero or goat.
Because hero and goat sounds like, okay, he's a hero and he's the greatest of all time. Because that's what people on your followers, I'm saying, a little.
I actually thought it would sound the other way if I said hero or goat, because then it would sound like similar.
I'm just saying, you're fake news and you're catering it to your audience, because you totally sweat it in your argument, and that's fine. It is what it is, but you're not winning this.
I'll retweet and say I don't mean greatest of all time.
No, it's all right, man. It's all good now. It's ruined.
It's lowercase goat.
I'm just saying, I Googled the phrase hero and goat. Not too much. Not too much. And Nick, who's...
I don't even think this is a generational gap thing. I think many people have heard it.
And Nick, who's comparable to you in age, has never heard it.
Not really. He's more comparable to you in age.
Are you? That's right. You are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. I'm trying to fake news my point now. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that's a good point.
I am stunned by the fact that you guys have not heard of that.
No.
Really am.
No. Like I said,
before
I've heard of scapegoat.
The goat is new, Well, that's what the
newer.
That's what scapegoat comes from, right? But everybody doesn't want to. They shorten everything, so it's not scapegoat, but it's a lowercase goat. Like that's what it is. Like it's the lowercase goat. Seriously, the goat terminology, like greatest of all time, is probably within the last 15 years. In my opinion. Now, somebody go ahead. Somebody go find it.
Okay, because
greatest of all time.
Here's where I'm going to come from, though. There used to be a brand called Goat. It was G,
like a clothing brand.
Yeah, a clothing brand. I remember in the Eastman magazine when I was in realistically probably 5th or 6th grade in the Eastman magazine, they had that. There's basketball apparel called Goat brand.
Maybe that started. Or maybe it started way back when.
Okay, let's look that up real quick.
I followed a lot of sports when I was a kid, and nobody really nobody said GOAT greatest of all time.
Well, that's because you're from Rhode Island. Nobody was the greatest of all time then.
Well, no, but everybody was. We had Michael Jordan, right?
Okay.
Talking about it in that context.
Check it out.
Montana was talking about it in that context.
Check it out. So
Wayne Gretzky talking about it in that context. Nobody ever said that about them.
So the word GOAT, it dates back, and then once again, take this for what you want. It's Boston. It's Boston.com. Okay, you ready for this?
I know.
Boston,
I'm a Providence guy, all right?
It's a big difference. This is some of your people. Some
of my people.
Some of your people.
That's fair.
You ready for it? Boston.com? So you buying into this?
Sure, I'll sign up for it.
Boston.com, not fake news, said that Muhammad Ali quoted it greatest of all time and had its origin in that place in September of 1992.
Well, okay.
1992.
Okay. Well, yes, that's good. The greatest of all time stuff.
I was 5.
Okay, 92.
I was 5.
That feels about right. So he maybe is the one that at least started the popularity of it.
Okay.
But I'm telling you now, I lived in the 90s sports fan, 90s kid, kind of trying to become an adult. And we had Gretzky, Jordan, Montana, all those conversations around that, kind of like we do today with the Bradys and could Mahomes be and LeBron and all this stuff. And that terminology was never used. Now, we didn't have social media and all that stuff.
Sure.
So maybe that was a part of it. Because you do kind of you shorten everything.
You do.
Nowadays, right? If you were going to have this conversation back in the early 90s, you weren't even having it on the internet. It was being discussed in the newspaper. No, seriously. Like,
no, I know.
I know it sounds like
hard
old, but that's just a reality.
Yeah, you're
like
right. You're right.
Like maybe the GOAT, as the way we know it, is kind of a product of the social media era. That certainly could be the case. I don't say that like in a bad connotation. It just might be the reality of it.
Sure.
I think for me, the first time I was aware of the GOAT was probably mid-'90s, but I was really into dirt bikes, and there was Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael coming up, and people used to call him the GOAT, and I never knew what it meant.
By the way, friend of the show. Yes,
yeah, I didn't know what it meant until I got a little older, but mid-'90s for me is when I heard GOAT, and it always meant greatest of all time.
But so here's the argument, though. It's that it's a negative connotation. That to be called the GOAT is not a good thing.
The lowercase, yes, not the G period O period A period T period.
Yes. See, that's where we're at right now.
The GOAT, yes, it was hero. Is he going to be the hero or the GOAT? Like that was like every big sports. Yes.
I mean, hey, I'm just going off Boston.com here. Okay. Don't be mad at me.
I don't understand why this.
Be mad at some of your because
how can we be this far off?
We are,
How
man.
can we be so far off?
We are.
I'm not
I don't know if it's like a regional thing. Hey, I hope you're not making this up. Because if we're hurting this much in the dog days of summer, I hate to see us 3 years from now, what we're talking about to try to cultivate
I mean, our dog days of summer shows have been some of the most fun the last week.
I'm having a blast.
I do want back to Aaron Rodgers real quick. Well, just to put it, speaking of the GOAT,
is that a capital or what are we doing?
I don't know yet.
Oh, careful.
Depends who you talk to in Green Bay. Depends what the pickle will be saying in another week.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I do. You bring up something interesting about like the compensation for potentially, and is it worth it? And I would imagine a lot of execs, because a lot of execs usually say this anyway. I think there are some folks, or if you read expert. Former execs, like the Tannenbaums of the world, and I don't want to put this in his mouth. I'm not sure if he said it, but I feel like I read stuff like, hey, Julio Jones was even worth the second-round pick, right? They overpaid for that. They're pushing all their chips in for that. I think if, from what you said, the 2 firsts, a second, a fourth, and a player, if that was really like kind of what people thought would be compensation, I think most execs would be like, I ain't touching that, not for that compensation. That's my view of it. I think the question you have to ask, though, is where, if you did something like that, no matter the compensation, where does Aaron Rodgers put you if you're Denver? Like if you're that team making it?
Yeah.
And I just think the wild part of this conversation that's kind of hit me is in the AFC alone, he might be worse of an odds to reach the Super Bowl going to Denver than if he stays in Green Bay. And the NFC, by the way, is loaded with teams.
No, this is
loaded with good teams, too. But I think he's got a better odds of going to the Super Bowl in Green Bay than if he were to go to Denver.
You're absolutely
and
right.
Why would you do that if you're Denver and give up all that capital?
Well, but why'd you do that if you're Aaron Rodgers as well?
Like, Aaron just wants out,
I know
so you can see why he would do it.
No, I get that. No, it's...
But why would you do that if Denver, if it doesn't make you into like an instant, like, bam, we feel like we can win this whole thing? I'm sure they feel like more competitive. Of course they do. They got Aaron Rodgers.
Feel competitive, yeah.
But would they might not even... Again, I would pick 4 or 5 teams ahead of them, even with Aaron Rodgers.
Because I just feel like...
Right.
No, for sure. I think, well, at least they feel like they have most of the pieces in place. Now, once again, whether you lose Bradley Chubb or you lose Von Miller in the trade, so be it. Like, their defense, not bad. Once again, they have a lot of offensive weapons, young, but a lot of offensive weapons. You have a pretty solid running game, pretty solid offensive line, and the big piece that's been missing the past, decade in Denver has been the quarterback, because John Elway has swung and missed so many times.
Yeah.
To the point where now it's not John Elway anymore.
Peyton,
well, outside of Peyton, but that was that's more than a decade ago now, wasn't it, or not?
No.
No.
No, it was like 14, 15.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, I think that they think they are there. That they're an Aaron Rodgers away from winning a Super Bowl. Now, once again, I like Kansas City better on paper, but he's coming off an MVP season. So who knows? And once again, this is where we disagree. I think 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers, if he can give you 4 or 5 good more years, then why not? I think if I was San Francisco, and this would never happen, but if I was San Francisco, I get it. I just got, Trey Lance. But Jimmy Garoppolo, we'll see you later, man. We're getting Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Or even before they got Trey Lance.
Sure.
Because they already traded up some capital.
Correct. But
that would be a great conversation, by the way. If somebody does get, if somebody does trade for Aaron Rodgers, San Francisco might be kicking themselves. Because
Green Bay would never do it. Green Bay would never trade to San Francisco.
Because of the NFC.
Yes. You would never trade to San Francisco.
It's in the same division.
But you have to see them in the conference.
Yeah.
No, you would never do that.
Well, that's fair, but it would be a great conversation.
It would be
when you traded up to get Trey Lance, you still have Jimmy Garoppolo, but maybe do you feel like you could have, on outside chance, given up even more and gotten Aaron Rodgers?
And Rodgers from California.
Yeah, and that's why there was some of that talk.
But if you're Green Bay, you can't justify that no matter how sweet the price tag is.
By the way, some other folks think that this would put Denver potentially over the top. Don says yes, absolutely. They'd be one of the top 5 teams easily. Joe Jag says probably he's that good, and Denver's team overall is probably almost as strong as Green Bay's. It just doesn't feel like it, but Rodgers has made Green Bay so good, and maybe it is.
It's just a lot more competitive division, it seems like.
Yeah, Darren says 100% top to bottom. Denver has a better, more talented roster than Green Bay. Just get it done already. So, interesting, yeah.
A lot of Broncos fans.
It would be wild. Here's what else would be wild as we go to break. If they were to do that, do you realize that they would have John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers in the last, 25 years? 30 years, they'd have those 3 quarterbacks that have played for them. A bunch of other ones, too, by the way.
I'm trying to think.
But can you imagine, listen, San Francisco had Steve Young and Joe Montana. From Unitas and Manning and the Colts.
But best 3 quarterbacks. Best 3 quarterbacks of all time on one team.
There's Greasy and Marino. to get to 2.
You have Favre, Rodgers, Starr.
Well, that actually.
Yeah, I think that's
actually. He would be part of 2 of the best trios ever.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question about another quarterback. Recently retired, coming back to help a former team. It almost seems like a role that's beneath the star status of the name.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Trying to help Daniel Jones, I know.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking mostly cloudy skies, some lingering showers tonight. Temperatures in the 70s. More showers and thunderstorms as we head through your Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine is a fully accredited, tuition-free state public school that gives children an edge for a lifetime of success. FSDB is nationally recognized for its educational services designed for students' unique communication and accessibility needs. Eligible pre-K and kindergarten through 12th grade students benefit from small class sizes, advanced technology, and various recreation, extracurricular, and performing arts activities. Transportation and boarding services are free to any eligible deaf or blind student, kindergarten through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. My name is Trent Ferguson, and I'm a proud graduate of this wonderful school. This place changes lives. To learn more information or to apply for enrollment, call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org.
CGC Water has been telling you, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. Need a good-paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance is smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121FCU.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Do you need to have two separate plans for camp? One if Aaron's here, one if he's not?
No, we'll have one plan. We've kind of pretty much laid that out. Just going to fine-tune some things over the next few weeks. It's the same message it's been all the time is, you're only one play away, so you always have to prepare like you're the starter.
That is former Ashland University assistant coach Matt LaFleur.
Flex.
Now Green Bay Packers head coach. It's been a meteoric rise.
From Ashland?
Yeah.
I see you rocking the Townies hoodie, by the way, too. I love the Townies hoodie.
Just two Ashland Eagles flying high these days.
Okay.
LaFleur and Martineau.
And then meanwhile, we got Campaign coming out there for Phoenix, starting over Chris Paul and having the game of his life.
He's a Murray State racer.
Murray State racer, man. Yep.
So he'd be the hero, not the GOAT.
Lowercase goat, because apparently lowercase makes a difference.
I'd be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Probably in that conversation.
Yep. But there's right now 3 people are like, oh, I understand that reference. And the rest are like, wait, what? Excuse me? Huh?
Man. We're just educating people, you included. It is interesting situation for him because he's pretty close with Rodgers, it sounds like. Well, I shouldn't say close. But it's not a problem with him and Rodgers.
No, Rodgers has come on a couple times.
That's not where the beef
is. The issue.
Right, at least according to him.
Yeah, and he's even said that, alluding to the fact, too, that obviously when it was 4th down and they kicked the field goal, I guess Rodgers is cool with that. He's cool with Matt LaFleur. It's the general manager and the owner.
We never did talk about that whole thing for the match the other day. You see Brady, you saw it, but they were doing the golf match, with Brady and DeChambeau and Rodgers.
Yeah.
And they ribbed them for it.
Yep. Well, so
Brady
apparently
just doesn't care. Obviously, if you're Brady, you shouldn't care anyway. But I mean, that's still somewhat of a fresh wound now. I mean, that isn't like it was like 7 years ago.
So in true Brady fashion, did you see the new thing, the barbershop series on HBO coming out where Brady's on there? And he's going to be like,
I saw the quote.
Yeah, he's talking some smack about a team that he didn't say who the team was. Maybe we find out the team that was trying to get him. And they said,
you're going to ride with that guy, bleeping guy?
Yep.
Now, what is the show? I'm not familiar with it. I just saw the quote.
Basically, it's just like, it's a bunch of athletes and like influencers who get together at a barbershop and they talk.
It's different than LeBron's thing.
No, I think it's the same thing.
Oh, it is still.
Yeah.
It's LeBron.
Well, I think it's like, I don't know if LeBron's in this one, but he's like,
I think, he owns the show. Okay, so I'm familiar.
But it's, by the way, it's uncensored and unfiltered because they make a habit of, see Tom Brady like you never seen him before, unfiltered.
Drops
in
one
a
swear word.
barbershop. Yeah, right. I mean, hey, he was on Howard Stern, okay? He was pretty unfiltered there as well.
Yeah,
so let's relax, HBO.
Man, I tell you what, I think Brady's fascinating to me from the public perception point of view.
Mm-hmm.
When he was with the Patriots, you didn't want to like the guy.
Yeah.
And even though you appreciated his greatness, but the Patriots got so old, you're just tired of the Patriots thing. The Belichick's, although he's fantastic and incredible, he's so unlikable. It's like, just give us something, Bill. I mean, come on. Yeah. And just all that stuff. I mean, again, unless you're there and you're a Patriots fan, which I get it, but everybody outside hated the Patriots. They became what I would say the Yankees, Duke, all those kind of teams.
Mm-hmm.
But Brady, since he's come over to Tampa, has become one of the most likable athletes in sports. Like, he's funny.
Yeah.
He just seems down to earth. Like,
that's because
superstar guy, like maybe the best athlete on the planet kind of guy.
Yeah.
And
because
we love him.
Because he's got a new lease on life, though. Because, Brent, this guy has broke the game. Like, he's hacked the system. Like, you're not supposed to win as much as Tom Brady has won. It makes zero sense, and it will probably never be done again with all due respect to Patrick Mahomes. Like, you broke the system, and you did it in an environment in New England that, it wasn't fun. It probably wasn't the best in terms of having laughs and that brotherhood and camaraderie, but you still won. So then you go to Tampa Bay, and, by the way, you won again, hacking the system yet again, but now it's like, well, dude, it's like you're on borrowed time, but it's all good because you're still winning. Like, he's literally living the best life that you can live as a professional athlete because you're it's gravy. Everything else is just extra and gravy, and you're having fun with it now.
Yeah, I like the persona of Brady. I mean, I really do. I mean, he's a guy that could be a clam like in his own house in his $1 million, like $30 million home or whatever.
Yeah.
With his kids who are at that age where you could just be dad and not be out there, and with your wife who's well known and is a model, and just be this private life that nobody knows anything about. And instead, he's like more accessible, more open, more funny, more personable, more
unfiltered, uncensored.
Yeah, I mean, he's all this stuff. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like. We live in a different world today, so it's hard to compare to yesteryear.
Sure,
but I just don't. I don't know if there's a guy in 2 years' time at this stage of his career or any stage of his career that's changed the perceived nature of them. And again, I don't know if people hated Brady. I just think they disliked the whole thing that was New England. I don't think Brady ever gave you anything to hate.
Yeah.
Other than, unless, like, a Falcons probably hate him because of what he did. But I just think he was a likable sports figure anyway, but he was in that organization. And it's kind of like Jeter. I mean, I didn't like Jeter when he was with the Yankees.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to like Jeter. He played the great game the way it should be played.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool. He never did anything wrong. There was no reason not to like Derek Jeter, just that he wore the pinstripes.
See,
I like him more now that he's with the Marlins.
Brady has reached the level of his sports stardom where he's like the 85-year-old dude that says, like, whatever he wants, and no one's going to say anything because he's 85 years old.
That's a good point.
Or it's like, all right, Graham, you shouldn't say that, but you've lived so much life and you've been through so much, like, you can say whatever you want to say. But with Tom Brady, it's like, dude, go ahead and be as drunk as you want and belligerent as you want on a boat parade. No one's going to say anything because you're Tom Brady. Like, that's what Tom Brady has unlocked now with his sports stardom. And once again, it may never be seen again.
Yeah, well, and I'm also going to tell you this. I think here's what's changed. This is a weird way to look at it, but I think what's helped Brady in a lot over the last year especially is the political climate has changed. You know, he was associated with Trump for a while, and there was that segment of people that would be like, or the opposition, maybe the opposition of Trump that would hammer Brady for that, and kind of everything they'd say would be like, yeah, but. I don't think because that kind of conversation seemingly has toned down outside of where political talk takes place.
Sure.
I don't feel like we hear that correlation as much.
Yeah.
Like even when he played golf last year in the match, I think people made that correlation.
Sure.
I don't think they will this time around.
Listen, without getting into too many theoreticals here, what if it was Tom Brady that did what Drew Brees did with the whole flag thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You think we're having that conversation with Tom Brady? Do you think Malcolm Jenkins is going after Tom Brady?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably right.
I do,
Yeah.
but I also think, I don't know if people have forgotten, but I think that's such a footnote thing in Drew Brees' career, and even by the end of the year when he was retiring, people didn't bring that up that much.
Yeah.
I think he went out of his way, first of all, to clear
at the
the
time,
air.
okay, but at the time it was
yes.
huge. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would have been treated similarly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I don't have the answer. I mean, I would probably agree with you, but I don't know.
In that context, I don't think you can be the greatest player of all time. You can be whatever. I don't think anybody's immune from the criticism.
Sure.
In that context.
And I think you're probably right.
So, but
you know what? I would say you're right.
Brady is fascinating to me. Again, I've always said this. When we talked about Brady in Deflategate, I always thought that would be kind of like I just mentioned about Brees, but even more so. Just this, somewhere in there. Somewhere on the Wikipedia page. Yeah, but not to the point where people always wanted to be like, oh, it's going to tarnish his image. This is going to tarnish the GOAT. This is going to tarnish all this stuff. No.
No, nothing.
It never was going to do that. And somewhere in that long Wikipedia page of references to Tom Brady, on his resume, it will be mentioned, but it's going to be like one line. That's my point in the Brady thing, because he's done so many other things. I just don't, now that we're removed from it. At the time, though, I remember talking about it, saying, I don't think you're right. I don't think that's going to be a tarnishing thing.
If he didn't win after that, then maybe we're having that conversation.
Then maybe. That would be interesting, right?
Winning can cure a lot.
It does. And it's respected. Above all. Okay, so I teased this going into the break. We go from Brady to Eli Manning, who's taking on a new role. He's rejoining the Giants, if you will.
Yeah.
As kind of one of his roles is an ambassador to the fans, which, what does that exactly mean? I think all teams kind of have a sense of that.
But, you say that, I just picture, Eli Manning with, a T-shirt gun in the crowd, getting everybody amped. I know, but that's what I think about. I'm just saying.
Well, I think this is more it probably depends how each team can cater to this differently. It's do appearances. Maybe there's something going on in the community and you do. I bet they signed Eli up for 12 appearances a year.
Sure.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
In this role. I don't usually think this way, but I thought this way with the Manning name and with Eli Manning in New York.
Yeah.
This seems like beneath him.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players for the Giants, and I don't even mean this as a disrespectful way that I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I got to be really careful here because I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that's been in that position.
Okay.
But Eli Manning's a two-time Super Bowl champ. He just retired recently. It's not like they're bringing him back after 20 years. I'm talking after a couple of seasons, he's now back as the ambassador to the fans.
Yeah.
What is that? That's not what I thought the next thing Eli Manning would do.
No, was Bart Oates busy? Come on now, bring that dude back. That guy was an Aqua Teen Hunger. He's in a cartoon on Cartoon Network. He was featured just randomly one time in a cartoon. Bring back Bart Oates. Yeah, and especially being in New York too. Right, we're once again we don't want to. I mean, listen, it's great if you're an ambassador and you're trying to stay active in the community and get people excited about your football team. But it's the New York Giants. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fan turnout's been like in the Giants, but I feel like they're doing okay. I feel like they're always going to be okay. It's a pretty large market last time I checked.
Yeah, they're doing fine. I think this is more. I'm probably over dramatizing this because I think this is more probably Eli wants to stay connected.
Yeah.
To a degree, and it's something to do. And I always try to think of it from his point of view. I mean, he's still a very young guy. He's probably bored out of his mind at times.
Sure.
It's this helps keep him busy. You go make couple $100,000 to do this for the organization.
Well, who knows? I mean, if you're in contact with them, maybe they tell you to come back and play for Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think this is a sneaky way back in.
I'm just saying, come back and help your boy out.
You know, a conversation we had for a long time is when Peyton Manning retired. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to know what he would do next because Peyton is so commercially known, like obviously from the commercials, but there were people who speculated.
Dude hosted SNL one time, or I think twice actually. So did Eli.
So he's
though,
so good at that stuff. But Eli, in a subtle way, is pretty good at that stuff.
He's pretty good, but he's not like Peyton.
Mm-hmm. But people wondered, okay, is Peyton going to be the next AD at Tennessee? You know, when all their football coach at Tennessee. Is he going to own the next organization like Michael Jordan and everybody else? You know,
Sure.
Is he going to do what John Elway did? Mm-hmm. But nobody ever said,
hanging out with Brad Paisley.
He's going to rejoin the organization in business ops and fan engagement role. All right? Nobody ever said that about Peyton. That's what just happened to Eli.
You gotta make it sound a little better.
Well, they have to make it sound better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying they hate Giants. Like, it sounds like he's in the back with edible arrangements, sending them to the ticket holders. Hey, thanks for buying a season ticket. Here's an edible arrangement signed Eli Manning.
I mean, there's their tweet. Eli Manning is back home. Eli Manning has rejoined the organization in a business ops and fan engagement role. Plus, we've set the date for jersey retirement and Ring of Honor. Shouldn't that have been the headline?
Just say business ops. just say front office position. Because when you say fan engagement, it's fan engagement, right? That was the quote?
Yeah, fan engagement.
And once again, I don't want to speak down on anybody. But when you put fan engagement in there, now it's like, oh, dude, come on. You're Eli Manning, though. This is like an Austin Lane kind of job.
Manning will also collaborate with the Giants on original content development and fan engagement activations, including a new lifestyle series premiering this fall. So from the fan engagement thing, they're basically, you remember Peyton just did the whole 100 season thing?
Yeah.
You know, with the
NFL 100.
Yeah, the NFL 100. And that was fun.
Yeah.
And I think he might be doing like a secondary series to that, or maybe he already did. Did he?
That I'm not. Well, I know he's doing Peyton's place. I'm not sure what
okay, maybe yeah. So he's doing more of that, building off that.
Yeah.
So maybe this is Eli's way of doing that, but ESPN didn't want him, so the Giants said, "Sure, we'll do it." I don't know. It's just odd. The whole again. That's the way the release read. That was the title of the release.
It's just a fan engagement thing. Just a little bit of turn off for me.
And then they said they're retiring his jersey and put him in the Ring of Honor. Shouldn't that have been the lead part of that?
I know. Fans, get ready. You're about to get engaged with Eli Manning.
You're better than this, Eli. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 6.
No, Daniel Jones could do this. Right now.
Daniel Jones probably should work in some fan engagement just in case.
Right now should be doing this at halftime.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
The narrative prior to the game is, what is Kevin Durant going to be? What is he going to do? Are we going to look at a guy after the game and say, well, see, here we go. Can he carry a team? Oh, he needed to go away from OKC to Golden State to win a big game. That question should never be brought up again as far as Kevin Durant.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
CGC Water has been telling you, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options and financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 11, Truck accidents require special attention. Sometimes trucking companies put their drivers in a difficult position, and accidents happen. Driving without sleep can be as dangerous as drunk driving. Loads can be too heavy. Evidence needs to be preserved for inspection without delay. Some trucking companies hide insurance, but we know how to find it. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company. Voted best places to work in Jacksonville. And in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry, because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-a-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call GriffinService.com.
1430-261. It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Coheed and Cambria and the Used are coming to Daly's Place on September 24th. You can win a pair of tickets to the show. To register to win, just go to the contest page on ESPN690.com.
Brighten your day and a dreary day on a Monday.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
Vida de Luis tequila. Check out at VitaDeLuis.com where you can find a bottle of tequila, Reposado, Añejo, Blanco. Vida de Luis tequila, only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach, all the way from Tequila, Mexico. VitaDeLuis.com as the happy hour horn rings on a Monday. Has it been like rainy? I was in Sarasota for a few days. I just said dreary. And it wasn't really dreary, but it was overcast in Sarasota. We didn't even get a lot of rain. Well, I was there. I think I was there, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it rained all day yesterday here in Jacksonville. But I got back, it was kind of nice. So I never saw the rain. But now it's been this today. And in Sarasota, the sun only was out, I would say, a total of 8 hours over the 3 days I was there. So now I'm going on like 4 straight days just about in Florida with no sun. That seems kind of weird, especially this time of year.
Yeah, you're kind of in that Seattle time zone right now, man.
It does. It has a little bit of like a fall field up north or Seattle kind of feel.
Got the Pacific Northwest.
And it really hasn't even been raining that much, at least where I've been. I mean, I don't know how much we just got during the show, but this morning at my house we didn't get a lot of rain. We got a little bit of it. Just very overcast without a lot of precipitation.
Yeah.
That seems odd to me.
A little odd, especially for Florida. Usually if there's, listen, it can rain, though, when it's bright and sunny outside, so there's no telling what Florida weather is going to do. But I hear you. I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it myself.
All right. I don't know, I just had to get that off my chest.
No, you're good. You're
It's good nap weather.
That is good, especially when you have days of it. Like, one day of it's not going to probably make me nap. First of all, nothing's going to make, I'm not a nap guy.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. You get lethargic at the very least.
Are you to the point in your life now where it starts to hurt when it's, when it's like cloudy or rainy? Like your joints start aching? No, I feel like that's a thing.
No.
No? You lying?
I don't. No, I'm not lying.
Okay.
I mean, I hurt the most every day when I get out of bed, though. So I'm at that point, whether it's sunny or rainy out.
Yeah.
So I started a little yoga in the morning.
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys show me these videos. I gotta check these videos off for you. Make sure you're doing the right ones.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I mean, let me just keep going for a while.
How long's the session?
Well, some of them, usually if I'm just going to try to hit it might be 10, 12, 15 minutes. But I also did one that's like 45 minutes.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking results.
It's hard to, I got to dedicate myself to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like it when I do it.
It's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you watching over there? You good?
I'm fine. I don't even know what I was looking at.
Okay.
What are you watching?
I was going to show you. So we're talking about this during the break. So Anderson Silva, MMA GOAT, if you will, one of the MMA GOATs. If there's 4 guys in Mount Rushmore, he's definitely on there. Fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a boxing match. MMA versus boxing. That's kind of the thing. And
so he fought him in a boxing match.
Yeah. And
Cesar Chavez, I feel like did he?
You know his
I know
dad.
him from his dad, but I wonder if he fought Pazienza, Vinny Paz, or something.
Oh, Vinny Paz,
back in
with
the
the
day.
neck? I think he did.
He might have.
Yeah, early on it would have been, I believe.
It was good, Chavez.
Yeah, because he had like the headband you saw his rock. Yeah. So his son fought Anderson Silva, and keep in mind Anderson Silva was like 44, 45 years old, and Silva beat him. Beat him in boxing. Which now it begs the question, because here's the thing about it, and this is why it's kind of bittersweet. Silva was always that guy that wanted to do this like 15 years ago.
Okay.
Like he always wanted to like fight the best boxers in the world, and Dana White said no, because you're in my company.
He wanted the McGregor.
Exactly.
Mayweather.
And he wanted it back when it wasn't cool. Now you feel like everybody can do it, right? But back then, nobody was doing it. So it begs the question, just if he would have had that opportunity 15 years ago in his prime, how good maybe he would have been. Because and Nick was talking about this too, like in terms of just style and what he brought to the world of mixed martial arts, I mean, I don't think anybody progressed it to where it is now more than Anderson Silva.
Well, I think the reason why he didn't want that, and I think it was probably the right call at the time, it feels because of the popularity of MMA and the growth of MMA, like it's okay in hindsight.
Yeah.
But as it was growing and when he was big, they were trying to get as far away from boxing and kind of compete against boxing and beat boxing and bring this whole, which mission accomplished, they kind of have done,
Yeah.
And now it's like okay to kind of morph the two together, or Dana White just can't control the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
I almost think all this crossover boxing stuff from the Jake Pauls to these MMA versus boxing, I think it's hurt the sport of boxing. In a time where actually boxing could be revitalized a little bit from, I don't really know if Mayweather did enough for it to get even the casual fan because he's so unlikable and all the stuff that kind of went around with him.
But you still tuned in to watch him lose.
You did. And you probably did. You could root again. There was a villain. But now with the heavyweight division, what we've talked about, I mean, you have a chance for boxing to kind of have a little bit of a peak performance time. And I don't know if all this Jake Paul crap stuff
I love it.
I'm not sure it's doing anything to help.
I love it, Brent.
Like,
it's not.
Again, if you're gonna go put a match on and knockouts, you can't knock anybody out.
Yeah.
And it's. I don't even understand why people are buying this stuff and watching it. But
we had Max Kellerman on the show, right? And we brought this up to him. And his whole thing was, okay, it's getting eyes, so that's good regardless of who it is. And they're also having undercard, like, professionals fight on.
So it's some exposure.
But then I go back to you. Name one, and I'll go to anybody.
Yeah.
Any casual boxing fan. Give me one other fighter who was on the Jake Paul whatever card it was.
I couldn't.
Of all 2 or 3 of them.
Couldn't.
I mean, I could name 2 of them, but, like, spoiler alert, they're not champions. They're not highly touted.
Yeah.
Let's just say. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's bringing eyes in the sport, but what does that really mean in the grand scheme of things if they're not going to be eyes that are staying to watch, like, a Wilder Fury match? Just because people tune in to watch Jake Paul box somebody doesn't mean they're going to watch Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, I think it's kind of hurting. I don't know if it's, like, massively hurting the sport, but there's almost too many of them.
I don't know.
This isn't like a one-off thing every 5 years. There's too many of them.
It was Aaron Carter, Lamar Odom 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know
Lamar Odom. That's right. He did it. Come on.
Who asked for that?
Nobody.
Who was like, hey, you know what would be cool? Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys. Yeah, I've heard of him. What is he doing? Well, his little brother. Okay, the guy that's got the face tattoo? Yeah, let's get him. Let's get him with, I don't know, give me a former athlete. Somebody his size.
David Kardashian.
I don't, yeah, maybe Chad Johnson. No, Lamar Odom, 6'11". Okay.
By the way, are you nervous?
For what?
MVP. Did you see Shohei Ohtani's last week?
You got to get off this.
Home run Tuesday, home run Wednesday, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run Thursday, 2 home runs Friday, home run Saturday, home run Sunday.
Fake news. Okay, first of all.
Even Vlad said he should be the MVP.
Yeah, he's being nice. He's being Canadian. That's what Canadians do. They're nice. They're hospitable. Anyways, hey, must be this tall to get on the ride at Disney. Must have a 300 batting average to enter the MVP conversation. Next question, Brett Martineau.
Next question.
He's playing all. Wait till he messes up that form in the home run derby, and then you're gonna be sorry.
Probably won't be able to pitch after the home run derby.
See?
We'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock on ESPN 690. I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Hope you watch. Have a good Monday, everybody. Thanks for listening here to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
All right, boss. That's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see. 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs. 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Laughable.
Yeah. And 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
Are you searching for the perfect place to launch your next phase of life? Then check out Stillwater by Lennar, the new active adult community in St. Johns County, with a bundled world-class golf course designed by renowned architect Bobby Weed. Spend your days improving your golf swing on the top Tracer driving range, lounging by the pool, or hitting the pickleball court for an evening match. The activities are endless at Stillwater. Each home is built with everything included. Entertaining offers now from the mid-300s. Visit StillwaterGolfClub.com for more information.
The Wendy's restaurant in your area has issued a major bag alert.
Bag alert, major bag alert.
The bacon double stack is back in the biggie bag with fries, nugs, and a drink, all for just $5. The following are to be expected: joy, disbelief, inability to think about anything else. This deal is effective immediately, and it's only at Wendy's.
Major bag alert. Bag alert, major
Biggie bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and small drink. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Simmons to improve his shooting issues. Coach Doc Rivers said today it includes doing the right work the right way. He did not divulge any details. The Sixers do need to stick with Simmons and not trade him, advises former NBA champion Meta Sandiford Artest.
He needs to take risk, and he needs to be supported the whole way through. I would never get rid of him because he's a superstar. He had a really bad series. Who didn't? And I think he has a lot of upside. He can only go up from here.
Sandiford Artest on the next Kellerman Show. The Supreme Court decided unanimously that the NCAA can enforce rules limiting education-related benefits that colleges offer student athletes. The ruling will help determine whether schools decide to offer athletes tens of thousands of dollars in benefits for things like computers and tutoring.
Coming up Tuesday, would it be a disappointing season if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't make it back to the Super Bowl? We'll tell you what the Bucs' expectations should be on Tuesday. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Janae and Golick Jr.
I don't think Janae knows this. She's not sitting here yet, but I got the Janae Agumake, that black LA Sparks jersey on the way. You guys all saw when the jersey drop came out. I am ready. I am about to be so activated on the sideline of one of these Sparks games this year. I said if I don't get thrown out at some point, I'm not doing my job. Like, I'm trying to be like the Jack Nicholson of the Sparks. Or Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicholson. Yeah, that one. One of those old white Jacks. Didn't everyone mess that up? Am I the only one? Good. No. All right. Good. Dead silence. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we all do.
I was looking at you guys asking, like, someone help make me feel less crazy here, and you guys all just stared at me.
Also, when we course out as tables and you get thrown out the game, I don't know you.
Janae and Golick Jr.
Ain't no days off. It is Janae and Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and on ESPN Plus. We're presented by Progressive Insurance, and guests join us on the Goodyear Hotline. Mike Golick Jr., Trevor Scales filling in for Janae Agumake today. You can normally catch him co-hosting Sports Nation on ESPN Plus, as well as on SportsCenter on Snapchat and on a number of our other digital platforms here. And Trev, I appreciate you making me not feel crazy because I didn't hold down and do my job when I was out at Los Angeles Sparks games. I didn't get thrown out of any of the games cheering for our friend Janae Agumake and her teammates. And so now they kicked me out and I had to go back to South Bend and enroll back into class here at school, try and get right.
It happens to the best of us, dog. We try to succeed for our friends as best as we can, but sometimes we just don't quite complete the mission. And salute to you for making the effort, dog, but we just need a little bit more out of you next time you get out there, dog.
I was going to say, you know what? To quote the internet term, I've got to understand the assignment a little bit better the next time around at this spot. Now, speaking of going back to school, we had a big ruling as it pertains to the NCAA today. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the NCAA cannot limit education-related expenses and payments to student athletes. This is something that on the surface might not seem like a huge deal immediately to a lot of people. And so for some help breaking down this now and what the ramifications could look like, Nicole Auerbach, senior college football writer at The Athletic, joins us now on the Goodyear Hotline. And Nicole, I think I saw your tweet that every sports writer gets into this to cover court hearings and structure their summer around Senate hearings. So I know this has been an exciting time for you. But when you saw this ruling, a unanimous ruling against the NCAA on this front, what was the first thought that came to mind for you?
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, this is a court that we have seen, have some unanimous decisions, especially over the course of this last, month and this session. But it's really interesting to see it in this sort of case, because I think we were all watching the oral arguments, listening to them, and we heard a lot of really critical comments and questions asked by, really all of the justices who spoke at that hearing. But everyone will caution to tell you, it's really hard to make predictions based off of the line of questioning. So you knew there was a possibility. They all seemed to understand, kind of the intricacies of this model, and, weren't coming at this, straight with just NCAA talking points. So you knew that there was that fundamental understanding. You knew that they wouldn't have picked this case if they didn't want to dive into some of these issues about antitrust law. But still, pretty jarring to see, a unanimous decision go against the NCAA. And really reading the Brett Kavanaugh concurring opinion, I think was a real eye-opening part, because essentially he's kind of baiting someone into bringing more challenges. He's saying that their other rules are violations of antitrust law, and they had to be pretty narrow in this, but he wanted to make sure that people realized this. And I thought that was pretty interesting, because it's sort of like, hello, bring more cases to us.
So what are the more cases that could come about from this ruling, Nicole?
Well, I mean, I'm not a legal expert, and so I don't know exactly what's in the pipeline or what's out there. But I will say it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening here with name, image, and likeness, because this is a topic that's already come up, and some of what the NCAA is asking for from Congress involves protection from antitrust laws. And, when the NCAA was originally supposed to pass legislation back in January, it held off because they got a letter that was pretty threatening from the Department of Justice with concerns about this topic, right? So depending on how NCAA legislation is shaped, what the NCAA allows, you could certainly see some challenges about the legality, about, if they add different restrictions of if you go to a Nike school and then you wear Adidas, or that school has a deal with Coke and you want to do an endorsement of Pepsi, those types of restrictions are kind of part of the guardrails the NCAA is that's the word they're using for restriction. But the question is going to be, how legal are some of these things? And is this something that could be challenged, to go more broadly at the system?
Shanann Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio. Mike Golick Jr. and Trevor Scales talking to Nicole Auerbach, the Athletics football writer, joining us on the Goodyear Hotline. And Nicole, you mentioned the NCAA as we talk about a ruling where unanimously they were voted against in this on their position. What response have we seen from the NCAA and from Mark Emmert?
Well, they put out just, the kind of statement we've seen them put out a lot of the time, committing to, trying to spin this and to say that they are, trying to support their student athletes, and kind of try to spin it forward into name, image, and likeness, which is a separate issue, because this is really about what athletes are allowed to receive from the school, and if that can be capped or not related to education. And as you've gone through, it related to, equipment and laptops and post-grad internships and paid opportunities like that. That have to do with academics. So it's really not related to name, image, and likeness. But, it's going to inform, again, the way that this is framed and the way that, they're looking at the interpretation of antitrust laws. So I think that is something to keep in mind, kind of coming out of this. But I think in general, trying to ignore the Kavanaugh concurring opinion has been a strategy, at least it appears right out of the gate. Because, again, that was the most direct challenge to the way that the NCAA model is set up and the concept of amateurism, he straight up said that, like, this would be illegal in other professions. You can't say, like, oh, people like to eat at this restaurant because, you know, the owners in this area collude to not play their cooks that much, and that's part of the reason people like them more. Like, that doesn't hold, like, it doesn't pass the smell test anywhere else. So I think, you know, by trying to ignore that, I don't know if that's the best strategy, but that's clearly what they're trying to do. You know, I saw the quote to Steve Berkowitz at USA Today about, you know, well, you know, 8 other justices didn't agree with this. That's why, you know, by him. But we're talking about the 9 most important lawyers and court, you know, the high court in the land. Like, it matters a ton that Brett Kavanaugh wrote this and said this and was basically signaling to bring more cases and that this court wants to hear them and would be, you know, clearly friendly to the athlete perspective in this and you know, are not going to give them antitrust protection that they've had before. So I think, you know, it's an interesting decision to try to pretend that didn't exist, and we'll see if that changes in the coming days or weeks. But if I were the NCAA, I would just do a total 180 and, like, promote all the opportunities that these athletes are going to have for paid internships and stuff and just, like, totally shift your tune. But that's not really how they work. They like to dig in their heels, and they're, again, trying to pretend that they've been generous in the NIL front, which, again, still has not passed, and we're like 10 days out from 6 different states having NIL laws.
Understanding that the NCAA is going to do everything they can to sort of inhibit the just free-for-all that could occur with a ruling like this. Where do you see them trying to draw the arbitrary line of what benefits the academic stature of the athletes and what isn't, what is outside of those parameters?
Well, I think you actually have a lot of things specifically listed as examples in the ruling and in the district court ruling. So I think, you know, you have some examples. They already also kind of pushed back at the NCAA talking point that, like, this is basically a slippery slope. If someone's going to give someone a Lamborghini and claim that it's an academic benefit. Like, and they were basically like, no, that's ridiculous. Of course, they're not going to do that. And so I think, you know, you do have set parameters. You are going to have some leeway up to the schools because this is permissive. They're allowed to do things and not cap it in a way that they weren't before. But you're also going to see, you know, again, like other, you know, maybe conferences can do things. They specifically said conferences can make rules on their own, you know, and like schools obviously will get to decide how much they want to, you know, do in this space. Like it's going to be up in the air, but they also, you know, made it clear that a lot of this is pretty narrow, and they did give a specific examples of academic benefits. So we will know what this looks like. And, you know, I think that's more just like a talking point to try to, you know, again, instill fear that this is a slippery slope and all of a sudden they're going to be employees, more so than it is like not understanding, you know, that a car is not an education benefit.
Novel concept, people in higher education having to try and justify things that seem obvious to the rest of us here. Guys, make sure you check out Nicole Auerbach, doing a great job covering college football and college athletics overall at The Athletic. Nicole, we appreciate the time on a busy day, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
All right, you know what? Coming up next, I want to stick with this for a second because I think I have the most important sentence from what we heard today from the Supreme Court and why it attacks the very core of what's going on in the NCAA. We'll get to that and some long overdue NFL news next here on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
KJZ. Here's what's going to happen to Zach Wilson. As long as he is a playoff-type quarterback, he can have that Phillip Rivers-type career.
The NFL season never ends. On Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Get the latest tomorrow morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. More Chiney and Golick Jr. next.
All right, we have Goat Yoga Lattes coming up in the yoga room. Hey, Regan, can you go
At Finley's Fitness, personal trainers shouldn't have to personally do everything.
Engage that core. That class started 2 minutes ago. I am late. Hey, Dylan, can you...
Indeed can help them hire the people they need.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What are you working on today?
you could be helping us help customers. We're hiring thousands of new AutoZoners to fill manager roles, driver spots, warehouse jobs, and sales team positions. More than half of AutoZone's store managers are promoted from within. With hundreds of new stores and more than 7,000 new management opportunities every year, AutoZone provides opportunity to drive your career. Apply today at careers.autozone.com.
This is Bart and Hahn.
I'm the only one sitting here in ESPN with a belt from the WWE. I'm the only one that is going toe-to-toe with Kurt Angle. I'm the only one that hung with Hulk Hogan. I'm the only one that fought with Beer Money. I'm the only one that walked that aisle with Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. Woo! I just don't put it out there like everybody else.
Bart and Hahn. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN+.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking mostly cloudy skies, some lingering showers tonight. Temperatures in the 70s. More showers and thunderstorms as we head through your Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where for a limited time, get 0% financing for 5 years, only at Beard's Diamonds.
I'm a call it like I see it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250-697.
Don't pay, don't find out. Go Rhino Seal. Never paint your house again. Rhino Seal.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjax.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Just be laid back. Community First makes smarter borrowing simple, so you can relax, knowing your loan fits your life and your budget. Apply at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at Progressive.com. Chenane Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio. Mike Golick Jr. and Trevor Scales filling in for Chenane Gwumake today. Our thanks to Nicole Arbach, athletic college football writer who just joined us in the last segment. As we talked about, the NCAA got dealt a pretty big blow in the Supreme Court today, a unanimous ruling that the NCAA can no longer put a cap on academic-related expenses or money coming student-athletes' way. And, Trevor, these are always complicated things to try and explain because it's a Supreme Court ruling that essentially says the NCAA can no longer limit the payments for academic-related reasons under the scholarship of a student-athlete. So if they need a laptop for a class, there's no limit to what a school can pay to make sure that they've got those kind of things in here. It hardly becomes an issue of pay for play, right? Like, this hardly just leads to now a spot where we're going to have money being put out here, paying players for what's going on here. But what I thought was interesting as we saw the response from these Supreme Court justices was what came from Brett Kavanaugh, someone who I did not readily think was going to be the guy picking up his suit and armor to defend the rights of players in sports. But I digress. This was interesting in his opinion after this ruling when he said, quote, "The NCAA couches its arguments for not paying student athletes in innocuous labels, but the labels cannot disguise reality. The NCAA's business model would be flatly illegal in almost any other industry in America." And Trevor, I think in addition to what Nicole told us, that Brett Kavanaugh basically invited people and said, we want other cases. We had to rule pretty narrowly on this. This quote is a direct shot at the student athlete, and I say that with air quotes now for everyone listening on radio, the student athlete moniker that the NCAA created so they could operate the way they do, and that seems like a threat at the very soul of what the NCAA has always been trying to protect.
Right, the soul that is amateurism, right? Like the soul that this is not a business enterprise. He outright called it a business model. So everything that he did in that concurring opinion essentially lays out to the world what this institution is. It is an institution that makes a whole bunch of money and doesn't distribute any of it to the labor, right? Like that's just kind of what he framed it as, and that's what it's been for quite some time. And so we get this bit of a step towards what we have as far as a true business model in which you would have to allocate some of the revenue to the labor force, right? But there is only so much that they could rule in this one. But I also picked up on that line and the idea that he came out and essentially laid it out as and sort of laying waste to the idea of the innocuous terms. That's the word I was looking for. That's the turn or phrase that I was looking for. That directly points at amateurism as what they like to throw out there as the reason behind they can't issue out funds to these individuals because of amateurism and the idea that they need to uphold that in order to protect some sanctity in that sport.
Yeah, Chenane Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio. Brett Kavanaugh basically saying, you guys can't make up a term with a definition that you get to provide and then all of a sudden not play by the same antitrust rules as everybody else. And him basically saying now, NCAA, we are going to treat you like everybody else. It's been a wild ride, Trev, because we've seen this now at the Supreme Court level. We've seen this happen at the local level, at the state level with lawmakers and this NIL stuff. There seems to be a lot of momentum and an understanding on the side of politicians and people that, hey, if you are pro-student athlete, which also means that you are pro advancing the ways that states and put big-time athletic programs in them that can recruit, there's a lot of win for you there locally. So college players, for the first time, we've always talked about this, Trev, needed an ally. They were going to never have enough power within the systems themselves to make something happen. Now college players know every time I open up my phone and tweet something, every time I put a video out there from the NCAA bubble as they get ready for the tournament here, I have got allies in the media, and I've now got allies at the lawmaking level in all of this, and that's a powerful tool for players who are more aware of this stuff than ever.
It most certainly is. Like, that keen awareness in their place in this model is what makes this entire thing go, because if they are quiet, if they are, I don't want to use the word complicit because that assigns some semblance of blame on the players, but they are just a part of a system that has been sort of cultivated from this institution's inception. So, look, whatever they were doing prior to and now how they are bucking the system, for lack of a better turn of phrase, phrase, like, is helping this cause. And as you mentioned, the allies outside of their own space only further this cause. So as we move towards whatever other discussions that may be brought to the Supreme Court's table, it's interesting to think about how we're going to parse out each of the faults in the model as it stands now. So what is the next thing that goes to falter? We've now tackled the idea that you can't cut off the amount of associated academic benefits. Where then do you go next? Is it a matter of just opening up the discussion for paying for players, or is it a little bit more nuanced on a step-by-step basis?
It certainly seems to be something that whatever that next step looks like is being invited. Brett Kavanaugh quite seriously inviting people to say, bring more to our table, because there is a very clear disagreement with the way the NCAA does business by everybody on that Supreme Court, and it was very evident today. Chinang Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio, Mike Golick Jr. and Trevor Scales. That was news out of the world of college sports. We had big news in the NFL pop up just this afternoon, though. Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib took to his social media with a video message and some accompanying text that went up there, making the announcement, coming out and becoming the first openly gay player in the NFL. Carl Nassib is going into his 6th year as a player, and he took to social media and said, hey, everybody, happy Pride Month. Right now I'm sitting in a moment of gratitude and relief. Sadly, I have agonized over this moment for the last 15 years. Only until recently, thanks to my family, friends, especially Connor, Kaysen, and Francis, did it seem possible for me to say publicly and proudly that I'm gay. I'm also incredibly thankful for the NFL, my coaches, and fellow players for their support. I would not have been able to do this without them. From the jump, I was greeted with the utmost respect and acceptance. I truly love my life and cannot understand why I've been blessed with so much. I feel especially thankful to have the support of many who came before and many even now do not. I stand on the shoulders of giants, incredible people who have paved the way for me to have this opportunity. I do not know all the history behind our courageous LGBTQ community, but I am eager to learn and continue to help the fight for equality and acceptance. He went on to say that he is also giving $100,000 in support of an organization called the Trevor Project, whose mission is to provide suicide prevention services for the LGBTQ community. So, Trevor, this is something that we went through with Michael Sam leading up to the draft, the former Missouri defensive end who was trying to make it in the NFL with this news on the front end. But now Carl Nassib, the former Penn State product, who was one of the Hard Knock stars in years past, formerly with the Cleveland Browns and now with the Las Vegas Raiders, makes this history. And Trev, you played college football at Harvard. I played college football at Notre Dame and spent some time in the NFL. This is something we always knew. Statistically, there was an overwhelming odd that you were in a locker room playing with someone who is gay. And the fact that we're now at a place where there is a comfort not only for Carl Nassib, but that there's clearly an environment that's been created for him with the Raiders right now and within the NFL right now, where he feels like he can bring something forward like this, is progress that's long overdue, but nonetheless, we get to celebrate the fact that it's here.
Yeah, and it's not just statistically that we knew that this was bound to happen. It's also anecdotally, right? Like, there are friends of ours like that we likely know, right, that have struggled either with this identity itself or just the comfort level of being able to express it openly. So, yes, absolutely all the love in the world to Carl Nassib, all the love in the world to the Raiders organization for, again, as you said, creating an environment that is that cultivates this openness and creates this level of comfort for him to be able to express himself in this manner. I think it only leads to us as a media entity and other media entities at large, understanding that we want to move towards, as he said, a place where this video isn't even necessary, a place where we all feel comfortable with the idea that, as you mentioned, there are people that are gay within the NFL that have they have a presence there, and it is accepted and it is normalized. Those are the things that you want out of this story to come forth.
It is, and Carl brings up why he felt compelled to speak out, because as he put it, studies have shown that all it takes is one accepting adult to decrease the risk of an LGBTQ kid attempting suicide by 40%. Whether you're a friend, a parent, a coach, or a teammate, you can be that person. And if Carl Nassib can be that person now, by sharing this message, by sharing something that should be private for him if he wants it to be, that's an understanding of a greater purpose in here, and you got to do nothing but tip your cap to that young man for his announcement. So Carl Nassib coming out with the announcement, making him the first openly gay active NFL player. Lots more on that, and also we'll get back to the world of the NBA next here on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
Coming up Tuesday, the Clippers got clipped by Devin Booker and the Suns in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. I'll tell you whether or not they have enough firepower left in the tank to win the series. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
More Chiney and Golick Jr. next.
You heard that safe drivers get rewarded with Snapshot from Progressive, so you went online to check it out. But then you saw an ad for a vintage baseball cap. And now you find yourself checking the stats of that team's second baseman in '97, wondering why his stolen base total dropped after his rookie season. Wonder how much his rookie card is worth. Yes, they said it was easy to save money with Snapshot from Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get your color your way. We've made it easier than ever to try and buy color. Preview paint colors in your home with our Color Snap app. Then visit swsamples.com to have color chips delivered to your door for free. Or order some peel and stick samples to try on your wall. When you're ready to paint, shop online or stop by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store and get everything you need.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What, the moon is hollow?
No, not that. This! I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just, like, without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right. I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Or SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's a real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Do you constantly outperform your peers? Do you enjoy setting challenging goals and then exceeding them? And do you want a job where you can determine the size of your paycheck? If so, you could be suited for a career in advertising with Cox Media Group, because we're searching for self-motivated professionals to join the advertising sales team in our North Florida office. This media consultant position requires an outgoing, confident, and driven person who will seek out business owners in North Florida and help grow their businesses with innovative marketing solutions. The ideal candidate will have a basic knowledge of both traditional and digital advertising. Cox Media Group Jacksonville offers a team environment based on excellence and customer-focused selling, with unlimited earning potential, the best benefits in the industry, and ongoing training and advancement opportunities in markets nationwide. To apply for the media consultant position, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com. Or call 245-8732. 245-8732.
Hi, I'm Kevin Hurley, owner of Better Home Improvement. We've been making North Florida beautiful for over 30 years. When it comes to patio covers, screen rooms, and sunrooms, we got you covered. Check out all our 5-star reviews, our lifetime warranty, and our easy financing. You can even see our online showroom with pricing at bhimprovement.com. Schedule a free estimate now online at bhimprovement.com. Let me fix your house. You'll be glad you did.
Sometimes a family needs a little help to deal with life stresses. You can contribute to happy, healthy childhoods with a few simple steps. Notice families under stress. Offer a helping hand. Give your time. Talk about healthy child development. Connect a family with resources. Contributing to a great childhood can be as easy as being a good neighbor. For more, PreventChildAbuseFL.org. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game. And now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
I'm Christine Lisi. After leaving his last start with shoulder soreness, Mets ace Jacob deGrom pitching on his normal 4 days rest. deGrom starting today's opener of the doubleheader versus the Braves. He's given up a hit, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk so far. New York leading Atlanta 1-0, top 5. NBA 76ers have a plan to help point guard Ben Simmons address his shooting issues, according to Coach Doc Rivers. Today, Rivers said, without going into detail, the plan will involve doing the right work the right way. The better option would be for the team and Simmons to part ways, in the opinion of ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
This situation in Philadelphia is dead birds all grass. It's over. You got to get Ben Simmons out of there. Listening to Joel Embiid, listening to Doc Rivers, it's over with.
Kendrick Perkins on Get Up. Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib announced a short time ago that he is gay on social media. The 28-year-old is the first active NFL player to come out as gay. He said in his Instagram post he'd been meaning to do this for a while, but finally feels comfortable enough to get it off of his chest.
Coming up Tuesday, would it be a disappointing season if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't make it back to the Super Bowl? We'll tell you what the Bucs' expectations should be on Tuesday. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
One of the more unlikely musical collaborations as the world begins to open back up took place this weekend. Chenango Golick Jr. here on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. Mike Golick Jr. and Trevor Scales. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes here as we keep that same energy to close out the show. But Trevor, it has been impossible to avoid all of the discomfort around the city of Philadelphia right now because in addition to losing Game 7 to a team that they were favored against, in addition to being a 1 seed that now finds its way out of the NBA postseason, everybody apparently after that game decided that it was 1, 2, 3, throw Ben Simmons immediately under the bus after this game. It got pretty uncomfortable, Trev, for all of us that watched and saw Ben Simmons clearly mentally struggling by the end of this series, so much so that he turned down a very open look in that fourth quarter. We all knew what time it was. Apparently, so did Joel Embiid. Here was the star center for the Philadelphia 76ers after the game when he was asked about what the turning point was for them in this game against the Hawks.
I don't know how to say it, but I thought the turning point was just, we had an open shot, and we made one free throw, and we missed the other, and then they came down and scored, and we didn't get a good possession on the other end, and Trey came back and he made a 3, and then from there down 4, and then it's on me. I turned the ball over and try to make something happen.
So, Trevor, he puts himself in the crosshairs as well at the end of that, but there's no question the moment he was referring to involved Ben Simmons. This is the same post-game media availability where Doc Rivers, when asked if Ben Simmons could be the point guard on a championship team, said he didn't know the answer to that at that point in time. Was it fair or foul, this kind of public, what appeared to be throwing under the bus of Ben Simmons by his teammates?
So first of all, Joel saying he don't know how to say it and then proceeding to say it was absolutely hysterical. But second of all, yeah, it's absolutely foul, dog. Like you feel for Ben Simmons in that sense that you ain't had to call him out that way. I seen plenty of Philly fans getting jokes off and absolutely flambeing this dude on the way out of the arena. So it was understood that was probably the moment. I think if you are a player, if you are a part of a locker room dynamic, you have the responsibility to kind of shield your guy to an extent. But I think it just boils down to the frustration level within that locker room with the stubbornness of Ben Simmons' game, right? Like, I think that's kind of what's manifesting itself, at least in the immediate aftermath of a series that you eloquently described as one you should not have lost, frankly. So that's what I kind of interpreted as, like, the boiling over of frustrations over a long period of time of a 76ers roster that had just had it and seen that characteristic of Ben Simmons leading to their demise.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at it, because you're right. These didn't come just out of this series, right? The inclination and I think the natural instinct of anyone in the locker room is protect, 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 right? Like, by and large, especially when you spend a lot of time with guys, it's, all right, you know how much scrutiny he's going to face. Doc Rivers has sort of walked some of this back today, saying that for Ben, he doesn't know how Ben Simmons is going to deal with all the scrutiny. He's not sure how he'd be able to deal with the level of vitriol that he's facing today in public after all this. But Doc didn't help on all that. And in a moment of weakness after the game, I'm wondering if you're right that frustration along the lines of this, because it takes a lot to push people to that point. And that gets to the next part of this, Trevor, which is, as you look at the reaction around Philadelphia and you look at that immediate reaction from the team, is there any way you can put Ben Simmons out on the court with this team next season?
It doesn't feel like you can. Not with any sort of semblance of chemistry, at least, right? Like, we have, as you said, put him under the bus, ran over him, probably threw it in reverse. It just kind of took the couple of bumps that it took to get over him again, because it was very clear that they cited that as one of the reasons and a major catalyst for how they ended up falling in this series. So how do you move on from him is another question entirely, because we've talked about it. The number on the books that he has is unattractive, given the performance that he had in this Eastern Conference semifinal matchup. It's unappealing in large part. So what do you find as an appealing trade partner, as far as, like, who's going to opt into that to pay him that much money for the skill set that he has shown that he has, and no sort of semblance of improvement on a season-to-season basis?
That's the interesting part of all this, Trev, is I look and say I don't think this situation can work in Philadelphia. Because you know this, sometimes when you get so used to things being one way, and when everyone becomes so locked in the way they feel. And Philadelphia, for a long time, for a large part of it, fought and defended Ben Simmons against everyone in the national media, who looked and said, we kind of see this guy who's gifted in all these ways, but has a glaring error that's going to get exposed in the postseason. How much can you rely on that going forward there? But he is 24, and I've seen people point out, in that game last night, he did what a lot of people expect him to do. Bother Trae Young defensively, use his incredible length on the perimeter to be a problem, dish out high-level assists. Like, there's a lot of good there, but relative to the expectations that came with a max contract and just the weight of the process in Philadelphia, I think he can still offer another team something, because the issue for me down the stretch, Trev, wasn't as much the limitations of his game. It was the way he let those limitations break his own confidence in himself, right? Like, it's one thing if you know what your game is and you go out there, like we've watched Russell Westbrook do that for years, have limitations but overwhelmingly confident in spots that breaks through that. Ben Simmons, clearly all of this got to him in a way that just might not be sustainable in Philly, even if there might still be hope somewhere else.
That's what's giving me Markelle Fultz vibes in all of this, too,
yeah.
right? Where it was clear that there was something there, but maybe Philly wasn't a place to get it out of him. He found some semblance of success down in Orlando. What is success for Markelle Fultz, obviously, in a relative sense, but it was success for him. A fresh start doesn't necessarily need to indict the entirety of the player as a whole. It may just be that this wasn't the right fit. We talk about it in the NFL plenty, and it needs to probably be talked about more. It is all about the situation that you walk into when it comes to you being drafted with massive expectations. That situation that you walk into has to be cultivating of your skill set and maybe even expanding it if need be. Maybe Philly wasn't a place for Ben to do that just now. And as you said, 24 years old, there's still some room before he hits his prime, theoretically, that allows for him to do just that and expand what he's able to do on the court.
And maybe just do it in a different location. One thing is for damn sure, Philadelphia needs an image overhaul, needs to do everything in their power to get away from the idea, the phrase, and the utterance of the process. It is nothing but a specter that hangs overhead and clouds everything that happens under its watch right now. in that city. But coming up next, they might not be able to make it work. We will tell you about two artists from two completely different walks of life that found a way to make sweet, sweet music over the weekend. Next, here on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
Tuesday, an enormous day in the NBA playoffs and the NBA's future as we have Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals and the Draft Lottery. We'll talk about that and more. It's me, Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
More Chiney and Golick Jr. next.
It's time for some straight talk. You've got real work to do, but everyone's sucking up the free Wi-Fi faster than a Mocha Choco Double Frap on ice. So be your own hotspot. Now with Straight Talk Wireless, get 10 gigs of hotspot data with the Ultimate Unlimited plan. Just $55 a month on America's largest and most dependable networks. You don't have to find a hotspot. You are the hotspot. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
At Bowles Builders, demand is through the roof. To keep up, this business needs a stronger foundation.
That's all right. Just one sec. Bowles Builders, this is Val. This weekend? Yeah, we can do it.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-the-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
1432.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein with another edition of Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 3, insurance companies are not your friends. They are not your good neighbors, and you are definitely not in good hands. Insurance companies fight every day to not pay claims. They don't want you to get a lawyer, but they have lawyers. So what should you do? Hire someone who is really on your side right now. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
If you want new car selection, you've got it. That's because our friends at Arlington Toyota have over 700 new Toyotas for you to choose from. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles and Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. Arlington will even give you top dollar for your trade. Why buy used when you can be driving home in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota today? Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/June for full details.
Hey, do you owe more than $25K on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you searching for the perfect place to launch your next phase of life? Then check out Stillwater by Lennar, the new active adult community in St. Johns County with a bundled world-class golf course designed by renowned architect Bobby Weed. Spend your days improving your golf swing on the top Tracer driving range, lounging by the pool, or hitting the pickleball court for an evening match. The activities are endless at Stillwater. Each home is built with everything included. Entertaining offers now from the mid-300s. Visit StillwaterGolfClub.com for more information.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
I despise analytics. It felt like Kevin Cash lost his ability to feel the game.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
That is sensational. Nothing's greater than the signature duel and the group of death.
A game fit to be a final, just as it was 5 years ago.
Portugal, France. Wednesday at 3 Eastern on ESPN.
First Take, Her Take, the podcast.
I love birthdays. They don't give me anxiety at all. I don't feel any different. I think I've always sort of felt a little bit sophomoric and immature.